Now we can actually begin.
Here we go.
Hello, welcome
To
Weird Shit Wednesday. It is March 14th, 2026. AKA the kickoff of my birthday week. And it's going to be fucking epic. I have so much fun planned this week. And we're going to start off with some really fucking fun shit.
Let's go. I'm excited. I'm excited, but I'm also like spooked the hell out with this because I was talking to you about this earlier that I fucking jinxed myself.
Yeah, you did.
I did. So, for pressure for you guys, last month we pulled our tarot cards for our topics, and I pulled the Five of Pentacles, which I'll dive into that now. Represents like temporary financial hardship, negative change in circumstances, feeling left out in the cold, like bad luck, unemployment, divorce, like just negative.
It's not a card you want.
It's not a card you want. And I fucking jinxed myself because that has been my whole month. Like, since pulling that card up until like now, I've just had a lot of bad luck with money and circumstances there.
You pissed off the card gods is really what you did.
I pissed off the card gods.
Somehow she has pissed off the card gods. We need like a Fast and the Furious, pray to the card gods, drink a Corona kind of moment here.
Something, guys, because I've already dropped $2,000 on my spouse's car in the last month, and now it is back in the shop again with a separate issue.
Ugh.
Fingers crossed it's gonna be a minor. Well, we already know it's gonna be a fix. It's something wrong with the transmission.
Oh,
so
that's
those are either okay, a decent chunk but manageable, or you gotta
the car's toast.
You just gotta scrap it.
Yeah.
Supposedly it's going to be an air quote easy fix.
Okay, we like an easy fix.
But we haven't heard back from our car guy yet.
On the official.
Yeah, on the official word of it. So
well, we're going to keep all
vibes.
The things crossed that it is we messed up and it's actually nothing. Here's your free car back.
Oh, that would be a godsend. However, we know it. We know it's something.
We will hope for the cheapest possible option.
Yes, please, because I need this bad juju out. So we're going to do this episode.
We're going to
do
a new card. Maybe we'll do some sort of like blessing over the card.
I need a cleansing.
I feel kind of bad because we realized this in the car earlier on the way to get coffee, because that's just how we vibe. We started our day together with coffee and ice cream because
why not?
Why not? That my card also came very true this month because my card was the Ace of Swords, which is about concentration, vision, focus, and breakthroughs. And my ass finished one novel and is 10 chapters into the next one in the last month.
You are cooking with
I
gas.
am having a writing breakthrough. I am concentrated and it full on. So I feel bad because I got all the good juju and you got all the shit juju.
Yeah.
So we need to rub some good juju on all of us here. We want positive vibes. We're going into my 37th year of life.
Whatever witchy vibe, so energy we're putting into this.
We're going to go into some good vibes for year 37 and kick off. I will say, there's this trend going around talking about right now that the last time that we had a Friday the 13th, a full moon, and daylight savings time in the same week was March 2020, when the world ended.
You know what? And March 13th of 2020 was the last normal day I think any of us had.
So a lot of people are saying maybe this will reset the timeline and we can have goodness going forward. Like maybe the last 6 years we just say goodbye to and it's a new start. So that's what that's the energy we're putting into the universe. Please, God, or whatever you pray to, or
God, goddesses, deities, whatever.
Mother Earth, Gaia, the universe, nothing, Lucifer. Victoria's dancing in the corner. We have our special guest Victoria with us today. If you hear cackling from the other side of the room, it's her. She's over there crocheting. It's adorable. But yeah, so good vibes, good juju, and hopefully some good stories today.
Yes, it's gonna be lots of fun.
So should I start my book project first? Just get her going.
Bring her on.
All right. So as I stated, my tarot card was the Ace of Swords. Now I did manage to tie this to 2 out of the 3 of my topics, but only the reverse.
Okay.
So I struggled a little bit finding topics this month, but then like ended up with a book for it. So I know. So the reverse of the Ace of Swords is a representation of confusion, miscommunication, hostility, arguments, destruction, and brutality.
Dang.
So you don't want the reverse of this card. You want the other side. But for my creature feature, I came across, I was kind of Googling like different, I see a help me. Carson's going to say Victoria's Crochet Project while I talk. So I was Googling like creatures that are associated with like confusion or like distraction or whatever. And I kind of, after clicking on several like different things, I kind of happened across this story, and it's kind of perfect because it is very on theme for us because it is a little bit strange.
Okay.
But it's also one of the names, because it's called a couple different things. The main name that it goes by is the Hopkinsville Goblins. But one of the other names it is known as is the Kelly Hopkinsville Encounter. And since it's birthday week, I thought it was cool to tie it in with my name.
We got to be on theme.
So, we are going to talk about the eerie story behind the small town everyone is flocking to for the eclipse in 2017.
Ooh.
Yes. And it is where the term Little Green Men originated from.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
So this is the origins of the Little Green Men alien story.
I love it.
I love it.
I'm just picturing the iconic, like, teardrop, upside down teardrop shape with the big eyes.
I do.
And, like, the lime green.
I think I have photos.
Set.
I think I have photos.
When I hear Little Green Men, that's the image that comes to my
That
head.
same. I feel like I have photos in here somewhere.
I wonder who first, like,
Maybe not.
created that imagery. Because there's iconic, like, pictures
The
you can
one
think
I
of.
picture is like a very 90s,
Mm-hmm.
like I feel like it was like Lisa Frank. Like I can picture a little alien in a little car, Lisa Frank style.
Mm-hmm.
But I know there was another one that was like, it was a black background, the little upside down teardrop green. Yeah. Like that image is so ingrained in my childhood from like my childhood, like early to mid 90s. I just don't know where it came from.
Yeah, there's certain, like, images that, like, have been on stickers, billboards, you name it, that I just, like, are just there.
Well,
like, the smiley face, the alien.
There's your homework. You're going to research that and find out, and we'll talk about it next month.
Okay.
I just gave you homework. But, so, this story that I'm going to read comes from an article by Maria Carter that was published on July 21st, 2017. And I'm just going to read the article because she does a fantastic job of summarizing all of this. So, it says, during next month's total solar eclipse, the sun will be blocked by the moon for one of the longest periods, approximately 2 minutes and 40 seconds, in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, a small town roughly 20 miles north of the Tennessee border, with a population just shy of 32,000 people. So approximately the same as the town that we are currently in. So that's about how many people live here.
Yeah.
The community, which is expecting thousands of visitors for this stellar event, is embracing the occasion as an opportunity to cash in on tourist dollars by rebranding itself as Eclipseville. It's the first time in 99 years that a total solar eclipse will be visible from coast to coast in the United States. It is not, however, the first time Hopkinsville has had drawn national attention for extraordinary occurrence.
Ooh.
62 years ago, a family living on the outskirts of town made headlines after claiming they'd been visited by, quote, little gray men, after spotting an otherworldly aircraft floating over their farmhouse. It says in quotations here, they were misquoted in the press, resulting in the addition of the little green men to our motto.
I was about to say, I'm like, wait a minute.
So they were misquoted in the newspaper, and they actually said gray men, but they called them green men.
Oh.
The incident, also called the Kelly Hopkinsville Encounter, referring to the nearby unincorporated community of Kelly, I'm unincorporated apparently, was well documented in the media and pop culture, including director Steven Spielberg cited it as part of the inspiration behind films such as E.T. and Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Nice. When you were saying unincorporated, I was like, yeah, Kelly's pretty uncooperative.
That's also true. I've earned it.
Yes.
I work hard.
Absolutely, you do.
I get to be uncooperative.
You do.
Interestingly enough, the summer's eclipse will take place on the anniversary of the infamous sighting. A coincidence that has conspiracy theorists buzzing and wondering if the 2 minutes of daytime darkness herald another encounter. The fact that the original incident took place along latitude 37 north, a route not lately identified by people such as New York Times bestselling author Ben Mesrick, author of the 37th Parallel, for its high frequency of UFO sightings and other anomalies, only adds to the intrigue. As far as aliens returning, you never know, says Joanne Smythe, Vice President and Chairperson of the Kelly Little Green Men Days Festival, which should go on our bucket list of places to
That
visit.
does sound like a fun little road trip to take.
Some people say they are already among us, and others say they don't exist, period.
Okay.
But back in the Kelly Hopkinsville encounter, here's how the story goes. On the evening of Sunday, August 21st, 1955, Elmer Sutton, a.k.a. Lucky, a young man in his early 20s, was visiting his mom, Glennie Lankford, and 3 younger half-siblings at the farmhouse he'd grown up in, 8 miles north of Hopkinsville. On break from his job with the traveling carnival, Lucky had his wife, Vera, and their friends Billy Ray and June Taylor with him for the weekend. His brother, J.C., and sister-in-law, Arlene, plus a family friend, O.P., who were also there that night. Following a hearty supper prepared by Miss Glennie, the party of 11 had settled in for a card game when Billy Ray made an outlandish claim. Walking into the house from a trip to the well to refill his water glass, he blurted out he'd just seen a round metallic object with rainbow-colored streaks trailing behind it, moving through the sky above the farm. Which makes me wonder, what was in that water?
Yeah.
Was it water or was it moonshine?
That's a highly probable theory.
I mean, it is Kentucky.
Yeah. Very.
His companions took it as a prank at first, writing it off as another one of the tricks Billy Ray and Lucky liked to play on one another. But Billy Ray seemed genuinely bothered by whatever he'd seen, despite the others' instance that it was probably a meteor or shooting star. When he asked his wife June for reassurance that she believed him, the absurdity of it all sent her and the others into fits of laughter. Unwilling to let it go, Billy Ray got Lucky to walk out to the well with him so he could point out exactly where the object had gone across the sky. Lucky didn't know what to make of his friend's story, but it was clear something had scared him. They were headed back to resume their game when something stopped them in their tracks. They claimed a glowing object approaching from the woods behind this house. As it got closer, they realized it was a short, human-like creature with large eyes, 2 legs that seemed to float rather than walk, and 2 arms raised as if in surrender.
Ooh.
Appreciate that? Lucky yelled an expletive.
Ooh, we're getting spicy.
And the 2 men ran inside, slamming the door behind them. Around the same time, a neighbor about a quarter mile north of them noticed lights in the woods behind the Sutton farm and figured the family was searching for one of their pigs that had gotten out. Later, when he would hear gunshots, he imagined they were dealing with a bobcat preying on their livestock. Glennie didn't understand the commotion was about. She lived on the property for decades and never experienced anything even remotely strange, but didn't want Lucky's talk of, quote, otherworldly goblins upsetting his younger siblings, so she sent them to bed. The next thing she knew, the guys were standing guard at the door, Lucky at the front with a 12 gauge, and Billy Ray at the back with a 22.
Woo!
She couldn't believe how far they were willing to go to play a prank. She said, "I'm not going to be scared in my house, though."
Valid.
Valid. Once Lucky's mind was set on something, there wasn't any convincing him otherwise. His mother knew. She tried getting answers from his friend instead. Maybe the 2 young men were playing a joke on their wives. She sidled up to Billy Ray by the back door. "Just what exactly is this all about?" she asked. "Miss Glennie, I hope you don't have to find out," he replied. They were sitting silently waiting while everyone else except Lucky and the children talked in the living room, when a figure about 3 feet tall appeared in the doorway out of the darkness. Glennie screamed and everyone came running. Billy Ray shot at the would-be intruder, pierced a hole in the screen door, then, spurred by curiosity, stepped into the porch. Because yes, let's shoot at it and then go look for it.
Yeah, because...
Thoughts. As he did, he says a clawed hand reached down from the roof, grazing his hair. Not knowing the creature's intent, Arlene grabbed Billy Ray and yanked him back inside the house. Thank you, Arlene, for being the smart one in this situation.
Right.
Always
I'm
the
just
women.
picturing like this hand just like reaching down and be like, nice kitty.
I know,
Big
right?
kitty.
It's giving gremlin vibes.
Yes.
Yeah, I like it. Don't feed them after midnight. Lucky stepped outside, aiming his gun at the roof. The creature had rolled off of the roof and disappeared into the woods, apparently uninjured. In the living room, a pair of glowing eyes and a set of talons appeared at the window. JC shot at it through the glass with a 20-gauge shotgun. Close behind, Billy Ray filed up with a bullet and struck the creature, who backflipped and took off running.
I hope they suck the landing.
10 points. 10 out of 10. Glennie, a religious woman who'd just been to church earlier that day, started praying. Fair.
Yeah, the valid response.
Valid. For all she knew, the glowing-eyed creatures on her lawn were sent from the devil himself.
Woo.
The gunfire stirred the youngest kids from sleep, who now looked to her for answers. She told them, the good Lord will watch over and protect us. So much to reassure herself as the children. Lucky urged the women to take the children to the back room and hide. Everyone but Glennie obeyed. She could barely believe what she was seeing earlier, and she needed a second look. Lucky and Billy Ray surveyed the front yard while JC, Opie, and Glennie waited inside, JC at the ready with a gun. Someone yelled to look up in the maple tree. This time, everyone could clearly see one of the, quote, little men perched on a branch above them. They shot at it, but instead of falling, the being floated off. The noise they heard when they fired at one another coming around the corner sounded like bullets hitting metal. It floated away, too. Realizing their gunfire was useless, the men retreated. Back in the house, the group tried to collect their thoughts amid racing questions. What are these things? Were they goblins or demons? Did their raised arm indicate innocent intent? Or did they mean any harm to the home's occupants? Why did they keep coming back after being shot at? Bullets may not have scared them off, but someone pointed out that the bright light seemed to hurt their large, yellow-pupiled eyes. Whenever a light came on, they backed away. So clearly some sort of nocturnal ammo.
Mm-hmm.
They turned on every light in the house and waited. Outside, it was eerily silent. One of the children began to cry. Lucky was trying to think of what to do next when he heard the scratchings coming from the roof. He darted outside, because that's what we do.
Like,
when
why
we
are we
scratching on
running? Why do we run?
This feels like a
thing?
freaking like horror, like bad horror
a very
movie
bad
plot.
horror movie. Like, why do we run towards the danger?
Oh, I hear something that tried to grab my fucking brain out of my head, scratching on the roof. Let me go check and see.
Go look at it. Let me
It's like
look
poking
at it.
things with a stick. Why is it?
Men.
Okay. Yep. Lucky was trying to think of what to do next when they heard a scratching coming from the roof. I just said that. He darted outside, pointed his gun at the top of the house, and fired at the creature again. The being floated down and scrambled out of sight behind the trees, some seemingly unharmed like the others. It was becoming abundantly clear that these, quote, goblins couldn't be deterred, at least not by any means an ordinary farm family had at their disposal. It was time to get out of there. When the coast was clear, everyone made a break for the trucks, piling in as fast as they could. The sergeant working the front desk at the Hopkinsville police station didn't know what to say to the 11 people who came in just before midnight. One of them said they'd been fighting, quote, little silver men for hours. The officer may not believe that, but it was obvious something had frightened them. Why else would they have the children out so late?
Mm-hmm.
The officer phoned Chief Russell Greenwell, who in turn radioed Kentucky State Police, the Christian County Sheriff's Police, and Fort Campbell Army Base. So they just went.
They went full send.
We're like, we're just going to get to the bottom of this. Mm-hmm. Shoot it.
Bring in the cavalry, boys.
Call in the big guns.
Good choice.
So he called them, which then those also dispatched their own police personnel. The local paper got wind of it and sent a staff photographer, and within an hour, at least a half a dozen law enforcement and media members had converged on the Sutton farm, along with the family itself. So it says, authorities searched the property with flashlights but found no sign of, quote, little men, only holes in the window screens and plenty of shotgun casings. One officer noticed something glowing in the woods, but a search returned nothing. The ground beneath where Lucky had shot one of the alleged beings appeared to have been stained with something that gave off an iridescent sheen when viewed from an angle. Officers questioned the family members separately, but all they got were the same consistent descriptions of the night's events. After hours of fruitless investigation, the police finally left. At 3:30 in the morning, after a fitful nap that never entered deep sleep, Glennie awoke to the sight of one of the little men on the other side of her bedroom window. She called out to Lucky, who was dozing on the couch. He and Billy Ray spent the next couple of hours watching guard with their guns. The creatures left just before daybreak, they say, the last the family would ever see of them. So yeah, that is the story of the little green men.
The little green men who were actually gray, apparently.
Apparently they're gray all along.
They were gray.
Which is interesting because if you follow like ufology and like there's like different classifications of aliens according to people that like study the concept. And grays are a common one of these creatures, although they're typically described as much taller, like 7 feet tall beings. Mm-hmm. And so they, it's kind of interesting that like we've gone from
they got like almost like a spectrum of alien life forms
but
that it could be.
You know,
interesting.
Was it goblins? Was it
aliens?
Was it moonshine?
Get around the fields and get into some fungus that they weren't supposed to.
Yeah. I just think it's interesting that like they all recounted the same thing.
Yeah, like they were
It's like,
seemed
is
to
this
be
some
very consistent.
really elaborate hoax? Which
Very
for
good.
11 people to be involved with is pretty insane.
Yeah, especially for all of them to have, like, a very similar story or, like, all be, like, on the same page.
Yeah.
Like, yes, this happened.
Especially when they say they, like, question them separately. So it's hard to keep it all straight. So that's kind of, yeah.
Spooky.
But yeah, that's my creature feature. Little gray or green men
Alrighty.
with talons, and they're apparently bulletproof.
Interesting. I've like always like been curious about that. Like, if are these such intelligent life forms out there that are able to like do interstellar travel and whatnot, why would they want to come here?
Entertainment? Maybe we're like their zoo.
Maybe that's a good point. I've seen a lot of like theories that like I enjoy and entertain the idea that Rick and Morty do an episode of this, that we are literally just TV for alien life forms. We are entertainment.
Yeah.
I wonder what they think of this season.
I think they're chugging their beer with this season.
Probably. I'm thinking we're on season number one too many.
Yeah.
And ratings are going through the tank.
It's time to either get new writers or
just cancel the show.
I'm kind of in team cancel the show. Burn the fucker to the ground and start fresh.
Yep.
That's where we're at.
Start it over.
Just give me a match.
Yep.
Burn, baby.
Maybe burn. Burn, no. Burn, baby, burn.
Ow!
Burn. Alrighty.
I mean, we're living in a dumpster fire. We might as well just be on fire.
Exactly.
Be warmer. Fucking cold.
It would be a lot
I
warmer.
hate winter. I'm over it. All right. What did you bring me
Yes.
for creature feature?
So, in my attempt to banish this bad luck I have had this last month, I decided for my creature feature, I want to focus on something kind of the opposite, more of good luck.
Love
and
that.
bringing that into my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought of the iconic Neko cats.
They're so cute.
The good fortune Maneki Neko fortune cats.
Cute. Love it.
So we're gonna dive into the legends and the meaning, the symbology behind it, and they're just so dang cute.
They're so cute, especially the ones that like the paws move on their own. And they're bloop, bloop.
Yep.
I love them.
I love them. They're adorable. Kane and I actually used to have this. Also, now that I'm thinking about it, might have been a piece of into my bad luck a little bit. This happened before I drew this tarot card, but it happened earlier in the past like 6 months, and I think that's just factored into just this string
of the bad luck.
This was the beginning of the bad luck. We had this maybe a couple months after we moved into our new apartment. Kay and I used to have this little Neko cat like piggy bank.
Yeah.
And it sat in this little nook I have in our bedroom, which weirdly opens into our hallway, like right over our stairs.
Yeah, you have some weird like nooks and crannies in your apartment. It's a super cute apartment.
Very cute. Very
It has some
strange.
weird like nooks and crannies.
Yeah. So like I have my clock up there. I have my little Neko statue in there, and like we are always like, yep, this is what gives us good fortune. This is what helps us like kind of stay afloat.
Yeah.
And normally Luther is very well behaved. He knows like if stuff is on a ledge, he
he's a
does
good
not
boy.
jump up there. For some reason, one day he just got it in his head, I'm gonna jump up there. He jumped up onto this ledge, which is already full of stuff, and he knocked my Neko cat down, and it broke. Because it plummeted to the stairs, and it shattered into pieces.
That might be it.
And I think that was the start.
I think your cat
this.
cursed you.
I think Luther cursed me.
You know?
That damn cat. I love him.
Luther is not that far from Lucifer. You're aptly named, apparently.
Apparently. But yeah. So we have, I think that was the string of my bad luck.
I think that's the beginning of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I maintain we were held over for a little bit because I found a sticker of a Neko cat. So I'm like, I put that in a little picture frame, and like that's our holdover until we get a new one.
Is what we're telling.
Yes.
Is what we're saying here.
Exactly. So let's dive in.
Let's dive in.
So there's going to be some Japanese pronunciations in here that I'm going to try my best at, but
Fair. I would not do any better than you will.
we're going to give it a go. So the Maneki Neko is a popular Japanese figurine that is believed to bring good luck and fortune to its owner, usually made from ceramics or plastic. They depict a Japanese bobtail cat with its paw raised in a beckoning gesture. Its paw moves from back and forth in a swinging motion, up and like from forward to back. And some even have motorized arms so they can wave all day long, which is so cute. Maneki nekos are typically displayed in the entrances of businesses, such as restaurants, bars, and laundromats, in order to entice customers to come inside. Nekos are typically depicted seated and holding a koben coin, or it looks like an oval gold coin from Japan's Edo period. Cool. And it has the phrase Sanman Ryu, meaning 10 million gold pieces.
I could surely use 10 million gold pieces right now.
Ditto.
We would be in London.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, 100%. We'd be going on a trip. And then in Western culture, the beckoning gesture involves sticking your finger out from your clenched fist and with your palm towards your body and moving your finger repeatedly. So like, hey, come here. That's like more like the Western signal. Mm-hmm. Whereas in Japan, it's like the opposite. So the where the gesture is made with your holding your hand up, palm down, and really like repeatedly folding fingers down and back. That's why the Maneki Neko's hand like faces down. So that's why that motion is that way, because it's reflecting more of
the gesture
culture
of that culture. Okay, I like that. That's cool.
The cat's raised arm can be either its left or right, depending on what the owner wants. If the left arm is raised, the Maneki Neko is inviting more customers, while the right paw invites wealth and money.
Both good things.
Absolutely. The Maneki Neko also can come in different colors, depending on the type of good fortune the owner is wanting to obtain. So here is a list of what those might be. White is for happiness and purity. Black is safety, warding off evil spirits. Red is protection from illness. I could use some of that. Gold is wealth and prosperity. Pink is for love and romance. Blue is success and education. And green is family safety.
Cute.
So we're going to get a little bit into where does the Maneki Neko come from.
Okay.
Due to popularity in Chinatowns, the Maneki Neko is frequently mistaken for being Chinese. However, the figurine is believed to have first appeared during the later period of the Edo period in Japan. The exact origins of the good luck charm is claimed to be unknown, but one of the earliest records of the figurine appears in the Utagawa Hiroshige's woodblock print from the series Flourishing Businesses in Ballad Town, made in 1852, and it depicts the Marushimi Neko, a variation of the Maneki Neko, being sold at Senso Temple in Tokyo.
Cool.
Yeah. During the Meiji era, the Maneki Neko was mentioned again in a newspaper article dated 1976, and there is evidence that kimono-clad Maneki Neko were distributed at a shrine in Osaka during this time.
Cool.
Yeah. In 1902, an advertisement for Maneki Neko indicates that the good luck charms became popular commercial items around the beginning of the 20th century. And then I have a little bit more about the legend of a Japanese lucky cat. So this is probably where, like, the story stems from.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So in Western culture, domestic cats make great pests, as we know. They are
some of them.
They are good boys. They are good kitties.
Yours are.
I do have good boys.
You have good boys.
Thomas has his days. I know.
Thomas is a pain in my ass on a good day.
In Japanese folklore, feline friends have protective powers and symbolize good fortune. Knowing this, it should come as no surprise that the Maneki Neko is believed to represent one particular cat legend. According to folklore, a poor 19th century monk lived in a small Gotokuji temple in Setagaya, Tokyo, with his pet bobtail cat.
Cute.
They lived a quiet life until one day a Lord Samurai, Lee Naotaka of the Hikone domain, visited the area. While he was on his way to hunt, a huge storm erupted, and the Lord took shelter under a tree outside the temple. While there, he noticed the monk's cat with one paw up, appearing as though he was waving to him to come inside the temple. As he moved towards the cat, a bolt of lightning struck the tree where he had just been standing.
Damn.
Nautaka was so grateful to the cat for saving his life that he became a patron of the temple. He helped to repair it and make more space for the poor monk. When the cat died, a statue of the Maneki Neko was made to commemorate its life, and the location continues to be considered sacred today. And this is the story of why many people believe the beckoning cat symbols are a fortune or a symbol of good fortune. And this is a picture of that location where people just bring statues upon statues.
So many of them.
I know. They're so
love
cute.
them.
They're all bringing good luck and
When
good fortune.
When I was in, I can't remember if it was Beijing or Shanghai, I found one that was like human size, like 5 foot tall version, and it was so fucking cool.
I love it. I love it. So where can most people find Maneki Nekos today? Most often they're found in shops, businesses across Japan and beyond. However, if you want to see how they evolved through the ages, there is a Maneki Neko Museum of Art in Okayama, showcasing a collection of more than 700 Lucky Cat statues from history.
Dang,
so
I
if I ever go to Japan,
We're going to that.
I'm going to this museum. The beckoning cats are also celebrated every year in September during the Maneki Neko Festival in various cities across Japan. Maneki Neko events appear all over the country, and people flock to the streets with their faces painted like cats.
Cute.
Obviously, another thing I need to participate in.
Love that. Yeah, that's very you.
There is also a Maneki Neko Dori Street, or Beckoning Cat Street,
Cute.
in Tokoname City, and where dozens of ceramic cat statues decorate the street. And of course, Gotokuji Temple, where the legend of the Lucky Cat began, is home to hundreds of figurines, which is that picture I showed you.
Cute.
If you can't make it to Japan, those in the U.S. can visit Ohio's Lucky Cat Museum in Cincinnati, where you'll find over 2,000 versions of this
might be a doable
iconic feline.
road trip.
Absolutely. So,
Not that I have any desire to ever drive in Cincinnati, Ohio again, but
nah,
it's terrible. It's the worst city I've ever driven in my life.
That's
Sorry
what I've
if you like
heard.
Cincinnati or you live in Cincinnati and you're listening to this, but I've never been so scared to drive in my life.
that's what I've heard, like, collectively from people that go through that area.
was
It sounds scary.
Terrible.
And that's
But
what
it
I
might
got.
be worth going to see the kitties.
Yes. I would like to see the babies.
I would like to see the kitty.
I would like to see the kitty. I need all the luck they can bring me.
We
Please.
just need to like roll you in there and have you roll around a little bit.
I just need to go sit with them and just be a lucky cat. Meow.
You can't see us, but we're doing the arm thing.
Yep. Meow.
Not together, but we're doing it.
It's out of sync.
That tracks.
It's all good.
Tracks. Cute. I love it. We both did like cute little weird
Yeah, little
quirky
critters.
things.
I love it.
Well, for what in the world, I have kind of a hodgepodge. What in the world?
Okay.
Because I have a very short news article just because I found it absolutely adorable. And I think a lot of people have seen it. It was pretty viral. I have a hilarious encounter with a man online
Ooh.
that I'm
Okay.
going to share with you. And I remembered, I actually forgot, that I had a funny story from work
Oh.
that it's a super short story. Basically, I was at work about a week and a half ago, and we had one of our therapists was out sick for the day, so we had a float therapist. And I'm sitting there, it's a Friday, and I'm waiting for my group that I'm taking to go do my group with. And I see the therapist walk by, and she had a board game tucked under her arm. Do you want to guess what board game they played for therapy that day?
Oh no.
She brought a fucking Ouija board in the building.
Why?
And it's still there.
Why?
Apparently it was a kid's. It's not actually hers. But a kid brought in a Ouija board and wanted to play it for therapy, and she let them.
Why?
And now he refuses to bring it back home. And he's claiming that this Ouija board that he has played with multiple times has caused glasses to flip over and like water bottles to spill in its presence. And I'm like, get that shit out of the place I work.
No! Oh my god.
So yeah, that's what I've been dealing with for the last week and a half at work, is just like this bad, and you know what? It's been the wildest, most awful fucking week at work too.
That's
so
why.
like it's got some bad juju shit going on.
It needs to get out. We need to burn it.
We need to, no, you don't burn a Ouija board. Never burn a Ouija board. Ever. Do not burn that shit. That is not good. There is a proper way to seal a Ouija board, and then you bury it.
How many degrees?
But yeah, so for my What in the World, I really struggled. Like I said, I struggled this month to find stories. Like, I just wasn't coming across anything that interested me. Usually I'll find something on TikTok, but I wasn't. I've also not been online a lot in the last month because I've been writing like crazy. But I remembered a news story, and it came back up to me on TikTok recently from December that I thought was so fucking cute and hilarious because it involves one of my favorite, probably my favorite animal of all time. If I genuinely had to pick a favorite animal other than a chihuahua, it would be this creature. I identify with this creature.
Yes.
So I'm going to read you the news article, and then I also have a story about the audacity of men.
All right.
Which I think will be highly entertaining.
Yes.
So the title of this article is Raccoon Breaks into Virginia Liquor Store Before Passing Out Drunk on Bathroom Floor.
Yes! This raccoon is living my best life.
I saw the video. It's so cute. Anyway, so it says, the mass burglar broke into the closed Victoria. Hi, Victoria. The closed Virginia liquor store early Saturday and hit the bottom shelf where the scotch and whiskey were stored. It's got good taste. Yep. The bandit was something of a nocturnal menace. Bottles were smashed, a ceiling tile collapsed, and alcohol was poured all over the floor.
Well, at least they now know the floor's sanitized.
Well, it's got raccoon feet on it. I don't know how sanitary that is.
Fair enough.
The suspect had acted like an animal because, in fact, he's a raccoon. On Saturday morning, an employee at the Ashland, Virginia area liquor store found the trash panda passed out on the bathroom floor at the end of his drunken escapade. It's literally a trail of liquor to then just the little feet spluted out. He almost made it to the trash can. He tried.
He almost made it home.
He almost made it home. And it says, quote, I personally like raccoons, said Samantha Martin, an officer who works at the local animal control. They are funny little critters. He fell through one of the ceiling tiles and went on a full-blown rampage, drinking everything.
He was on a bender.
Martin said she took the raccoon back to the animal shelter, though she had her fair share of giggles along the way, and said, quote, another day in the life of an animal control officer, I guess. The Hanover County Animal Protection and Shelter commended Martin for handling the break-in and confirmed the raccoon had sobered up. After a few hours sleep and 0 signs of injury other than maybe a hangover and poor life choices, he was safely released back to the wild, hopefully having learned that breaking and entering is not the answer. And then, yeah, there's the trail. And they're in the video. You can literally see him, like, grabbing the bottle and smashing it on. Like, he was thirsty.
Like,
and then it's just the little...
I feel like that needs to be a sticker.
This image is just iconic.
I need to draw this.
Yes.
And make it a sticker.
Can you put like a little like trail of booze bottles behind
Yes.
him? Like a little Jack Daniels bottle.
A little caption, choices were made.
Yes. Choices were made. I love that. But that was my like weird, funny article. But part of the reason I wanted something short is because I wanted to share a personal experience.
Oh, okay.
So this is a new occasional hobby of mine. Because if you have been on the internet at all in the last 5 years, specifically TikTok, there's something about TikTok. You get some weird effing random DMs.
Yeah.
Especially if you are a female or female identifying. Men will just message you the most audacious things. And my new favorite hobby, especially old men, it's always old white men. Because it's always old white men.
It's like, because
that's just what it is. But I will get messages from like 50, 60-year-old men. And I'm in my mid-30s. Well, late 30s now. I'm creeping up on 40, okay? I'm having a midlife crisis, I think. And the things that they will say to me, some of them are like your typical like, oh, you want to be my sugar baby, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, just like the weird.
I just ignore them. But sometimes Kelly is bored. And I decide to go fishing. AKA, I bait them. And I go into this conversation with the sole purpose of pissing them off. And normally it lasts we'll go back and forth 5 to 10 times and then they disappear.
Yeah.
Until I met this man.
Ooh.
This was a multiple hour, multiple day conversation that I left wanting to throat punch this man.
Oh boy.
And I printed off the receipts.
Oh, yes, please.
So I'm going to read to you what this man, this 50-something-year-old man, who I am going to name, mind you.
All right.
Stephen Walker from Florida.
Get him.
You have been called out.
Of course he's from fucking Florida.
Yeah. Just absolutely. So, okay, I didn't do the whole conversation, so I'm going to start where it gets wild. I will prefix this by saying, so he reached out to me very normally, like, hi, my name is Steven. What's your name? I'd love to get to know you a little better. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Mm-hmm. That's fine. I said, I was bored. I was very bored. This was on one of our snow days.
Okay.
So I was home. I was bored. I was snowed in.
What else are we going to do? Let's have some fun.
I was like, you know what? Let's rage bait a man. Because why not?
Let's rage bait this gator board.
So we went back and forth for a couple, probably we each said 3 to 5 communications back and forth. And then I said something. I don't even I could look back if I really needed to, but I said something about going to a concert or something. I don't remember. And I don't know how it came up, but he made some reference about a dick joke, basically.
Yeah.
And it was just we'd said 15 words to each other. It was completely off color, just unnecessary. You're trying too hard to be sexual right now. Mm-hmm. And so I said, we're going to rage bait. And so I literally responded and said, I have a question. Where do you get it from? And he responded, where do I get what? Which is exactly what I wanted. And I said, the fucking audacity to speak to me like that when you don't know me.
Ooh!
And that is where we began.
Lovely.
And then we went back and forth a little bit, and he was apologetic, and it was fine. He was apologetic. He's like, oh, yeah, and went off on some other tangent. We talked back and forth for a little bit, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna give you an opportunity to put your foot back in your mouth here, because I just knew I could the vibes he gave off. I was like, you're gonna put your foot in your mouth at some point, and this is gonna be fucking entertaining.
Yeah. And
oh boy, did he! So this is maybe 30 minutes into our back and forth conversation, which was pretty consistent. It was every few minutes he would respond. And he says, do you mind me asking your marital status?
Weird.
And I said, happily single. And he responds, oh, I see. Happily single, ... I bet that's not true.
Okay.
And so I respond. Why? Because a woman can be secure and happy without a man? ?
Ooh.
And he said, no, it's just that everyone's dream is to be with a loved one.
In what capacity? It doesn't have to necessarily be a romantic partner. I am a loved one.
Just say, but you know where he's getting.
Yeah.
And I responded, hate to break it to you, but that's not everyone's dream. Certainly isn't mine. Mm-hmm. And he said, something seems to be off about that. To which I reply, why? Because you can't imagine it, so it can't be true for someone else. And his response is, what made you feel like you can actually be fine without a family? We all have to build a family. Do you have kids? And I went, ding, 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 I know where we're going. And I said, let me lock in. Because I was ready. I was ready for this fight. And so I replied, why do I need a family? What can another person offer me that I can't achieve on my own? And then I said, and no kids, will never have kids. Mm-hmm. To which he responds, are you barren? ?
What the?
This grown fucking man asked me if I was barren, which I didn't even realize we were using that word any longer.
That's a nice.
I just went,
wow.
What? I literally remember I was laying on the couch and I sat up because I was like, I am in this now. Oh, I was committed. I said, I am going to destroy this man. This is my one and only goal now, is to make this man feel insignificant. And so we're only halfway through this conversation, mind you.
You barren. Oh.
We are only on the third image.
Oh, God.
We're not, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Guys, there's like four or five more.
Yeah. So I responded, who the fuck even talks like that? And he says, oh, geez. I said, damn, what is this, fucking 1950s?
Yep.
And he says, why would a woman say something like that?
Why would a man ask me if I'm fucking barren?
And I said, what? The word fuck? That's my favorite fucking word. I said, and then he continued on to, I feel like I got one mixed up here. I cut something off somewhere. So he said, so you've never wanted kids? And I said, never. And he said, so when you grow old and you have to hold someone before standing up, or maybe you need someone to show you love, what the fuck are you even saying? And I was like,
huh?
Right.
Huh?
Exactly. I said, dude, I'll be lucky if I live that long. And if I do, then I'll figure it out then. I don't need anyone but me. And he says, so you don't want to give birth? And I was like, I don't want kids. Period. Any part of it in any way, shape, or form. Like, that's all you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
To which he responds, you don't care about what the future brings, although it's not a new thing. And I said, my future is fan-fucking-tastic. Kids have nothing to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
To which he responds, the world is fucked up already, so I don't blame you. It's your choice, and we all have to put our beliefs on. Okay, we're getting somewhere.
Okay, that's a redeeming statement. However,
that's not where he left it. Because he then came back with, trust me, you need more than yourself, girl. You don't want to be a bitch forever.
Oh, no, he didn't.
Oh, yes, he did. We went from barren to bitch in under 30 minutes. And I said, hold my beer. I'll show you a fucking bitch. And I said, wow, I literally said, I didn't remember. Wow, from barren to bitch in under 5 minutes. And people wonder why women are fucking done with men. And he said, then here's his response. Well, you want to guess what he responded with?
I just want you to tell me. Don't put me in suspense.
You have to give birth.
Oh, no. No.
Yeah. And I said, actually, no, I don't. And he responds,
my body, my choice.
I'm sorry about if that gets you upset. Your mother gave birth to you, so you can build a generation. And when it comes to your turn, it's time to take responsibility.
Is that a threat, sir?
And I said, no, my mother gave birth to me because they didn't know antibiotics counteracted birth control in the 80s.
Oh!
To which he responds, you have to do it. And I responded with, I don't have to do jack shit other than tell you to fuck off. Save your antiquated misogynistic bullshit for someone who doesn't have a fucking brain. And that's where I left it. So I thought.
Oh.
So that was the end of the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
For a bit. He then replied a day later.
Okay, so he had to take a full 24
hours.
hours.
So he had to take a full stop. He replied, he apologized, sort of. He basically said, I'm sorry if what I said upset you. Which is not a full apology. That's not taking accountability. That's just saying, like, I'm sorry, you feel bad.
Mm-hmm. Like, oh, I'm sorry you feel that way.
Yeah. And then he, like, followed that up with, you're so fucking beautiful and attractive. And I didn't print this off. I wish I had, though. But I have the receipts if I need to.
Mm-hmm.
To which I responded, because I was still fucking like, I want to rip this guy's eyeballs out with my fucking bare hands. My response was, sir, I think you have some sort of kink where you like to be debased by women. I can't help you with that, but there are people that can if you need me to recommend someone. Ooh. And then he didn't talk to me. But a couple of days, this
just keeps going.
This is like, I don't remember, there's not a date on here. This happened like mid-February.
Mm-hmm.
2 days ago, I got another message from him.
No.
Yep. He messaged me again after like a couple of weeks. This was like several weeks ago.
Oh my God.
Messaged me again and is like, how are you doing? How's life? And I was like, fuck you! Because I had normally in a situation when things This one's like
Like,
unhinged.
at this point, I would imagine he just got so like, and just.
I think he was into it. I genuinely think he was trying to piss me off because it got him off. I think he was like, he literally has a kink where like he wants women to be mad at him and talk shit to him and put him down. Yeah. And like, if that's your thing, that's
each their own.
great. You know what? I don't kink shame. However, I was not consensual in this kink. But yeah, he literally messaged me like 2-3 days ago and he's like, how's life? How are you? I hope you're doing well. I'm sorry if I upset you before. And typically in like situations where like the men have the audacity, I'll just block them. Mm-hmm. But I knew I wanted to share this on the podcast, so I had it. And I'm so glad I had it because I was like, you are coming back for more. This man does not learn. I have not responded and I don't intend to respond and I plan to block him after. I might just not. I might just see.
Just say, hey, are you looking for more demoralization? Because if so, that first round was free. That was your free trial. Now you gotta pay.
I should just send him my Venmo.
Do it!
I should send him my Venmo and be like, it's $100 for an hour.
There you go.
$100 for an hour of me to talk shit to you. And I will happily talk shit to you for an hour and make you feel like an insecure little man. But yeah, that I have like the screenshot. This legitimately happened. And it was like equal parts I want to shove a screwdriver in my fucking brain because this is so absurd and fucking hilarious at the same time because I was like, to the point where there was a moment where like, is this some sort of like bot? Like robot? Because like the way he speaks is weird. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure if it's like, is it someone from another country with a language barrier who's trying to pretend to be American? And like,
yeah.
Because some of the ways like he says things didn't.
Just the syntax.
The syntax didn't line up. But like, I was like, what the fucking fuck? Are you barren? You don't want to be a bitch forever. And I was like, actually, I do. Mm-hmm. Actually, now I am solely going to spend the rest of my life being a bitch just because you said that. Mm-hmm. And it was just the audacity.
It's like, what in the world? Where in the world?
Why in the world?
Where did they find it?
And why did they find me? Why did these creepy ass geriatric motherfuckers find me on the internet? Because this is not uncommon.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not usually this, like, mostly because I don't continue to provoke.
Right.
I generally have a rule of, like, if you stop responding, I stop responding. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I'm going to rage bait until you do stop responding because it's a game to me, and the ODD side of my brain is like,
let's keep digging.
Maniacal laughing.
This is where the evil
But now I kind of, this is like a new hobby. I'm kind of obsessed with it. And I kind of want to like drink a bottle of wine and just start messaging him and just see what I can get out of him. And just for fodder, if nothing else. Like it's fucking entertaining. But I was like, and he like, he has a photo and he has information. Like if I wanted to, I could track this man down. Like if I wanted.
There's a side of TikTok of people that specifically do that. So if we wanted to, we could go to them and be like, here you go.
Don't need to go to them. I can do it myself.
Valid.
I'm a millennial. I can fucking find shit.
We can dig. I
can dig. I can Google the best of them, and my search history is already fucked anyway. So, but yeah, that was my experience with men on the internet on a random Wednesday.
Wow. It's like it's funny because like on one hand,
it's hilarious.
It's hilarious. And I'm like shocked that people can do this, but at the same time, I'm surprised. I'm
not even remotely surprised whatsoever. But like just no. I do think at some point after this continued, I remember I think I threatened to hex him.
That's on character for you.
I was like, I will fucking hex you. I know how to. I've never actually done it, but like I know how to hex someone, and your name this little paper might just get rolled up and put in my freezer.
There we go.
Just wish you some ill will. Nothing harmful. Just like stub your toe every 48 hours.
Minor inconveniences that just pissed you off.
Routine paper cuts and stubbed toes and
running out of a supply right when you need it.
Yeah. Getting diarrhea at inconvenient times. You're stuck in traffic and rush hour, can't go anywhere, and you gotta shit. Sorry. Not sorry.
Woo!
Anyway, where are we going for your What in the World? Because I don't want to live in mine any longer.
What in the world?
You're on your What in the World, because all I've got left is my spooky spotlight, which is a fucking...
This could be a trip.
That's my spooky spotlight.
Oh my god. We're going to be here all night.
Hey!
Yay!
All right.
Oh,
you
no.
talk. I'm going to sip.
Okay. All right. Well, sticking in theme with the 5 Pentacles, my creature feature was a little bit more positive.
We're hoping for good luck. Yep.
Yep. Now I'm going to dive into the aspect of the bad side of the 5 Pentacles,
All
which
right.
one of the things that it can represent or kind of like allude to is divorce. So diving into the What in the World, we're going to get into some weird reasons people might get divorced and some very weird laws regarding it.
I don't know a lot about them, but I've heard that there are some weird divorce
There's
laws
some
out there.
funky ones out there.
All right.
So, as we all know, divorce is an aspect of family life which shapes living arrangements, financial well-being, and parenting. In 2023, over 1.8 million Americans got divorced.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I think the divorce rate now is higher than like the successful marriage rate at this point. It's like 63% or something like that of marriages end in divorce, especially in the first 5 years.
I believe so. It's almost like people don't get their issues figured out before they...
Or people just think
Like
they
that.
have to get married when, guess what?
You
don't.
You don't.
You really don't. Like, it just... I'll get off myself.
We have a lot to say about that. Additionally,
Maybe we should.
So basically, that with the 1.8 million of Americans divorced, that basically leaves a third of Americans who have ever been married have experienced divorce. That's a lot.
So 63% was not far off. Good
You were
job,
not
Talia.
far off. Good
Pat
job.
myself in the head.
Good job. The average cost of a divorce ranges between $15,000 to $20,000, and that's before factoring in property division, child custody disputes, or spousal support battles.
Yep.
So if you want to like
Do you
drag
need alimony?
alimony, oof. Alimony confuses me sometimes, but then at the same time I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't plan on ever getting divorced, so I don't need to worry about it.
Smart. I
So-
don't plan on ever getting married, so I really don't need to worry about it.
There you go.
If I ever find a man worthy of it, we'll just live in sin.
There you go. So
He
every
can show
state,
up once a month, does
Yeah.
what's needed, and then go away. That's all I need.
there you go. So every state has their own different clauses and stipulations around divorce. So to keep on theme with the weirdness of our pod,
Love it.
I found some really weird and wacky laws on file pertaining to divorce, as well as some bizarre and just downright silly reasons people sought out separation.
Love it.
So, first one. You may have heard of remarrying a spouse. So, like, you marry one person, you get divorced, and then for whatever
Eventually you
reason,
come back.
Yep, life brings you
Yep.
back together, and you get remarried.
Like Miss Patty in Gilmore Girls.
Exactly.
She remarried the same guy twice at some point.
Yes,
Can't remember
exactly.
which one.
However, in the state of Kentucky, it is illegal to remarry the same spouse 4 times. 3 is fine, but if you get divorced that 3rd time, you can't remarry again.
3 strikes, you're out, I guess.
Yep.
But
I
I mean,
mean, it's probably for the better because if you just
I
keep
don't-
repeating the cycle.
I don't not support this law. I mean, I feel like that's even, like, it's a little generous.
A little bit, like maybe 2. I feel like some investigation would need to be
There's a
happening if
joke
we're going
somewhere in there
past.
about, like, cousins that I'm...
Probably. Oh my
Missing.
god. I don't even want to go down that side of things. New Mexico, Hawaii, Illinois, North Carolina, South Dakota, Utah, and Mississippi allow scorned spouses to sue their ex-spouse's lover for damages under alienation of affection laws.
Fuck yeah.
So if you cheat on your spouse, your little affair partner can get sued
Don't
for
be
damages.
a homewrecker.
Don't be a homewrecker. You might have to pay the price.
And I will maintain that I don't think that should apply if the person didn't know. Like, if you're sleeping with someone and you don't know that they're married, and then you find out that they're married, they shouldn't be able to sue you then. Because that's not really your fault.
that's fair.
That's the one
But I would
caveat.
imagine you have to somehow prove that you did not know. That'd be an interesting.
Court case.
Yeah, that would be a very interesting court
That's why
case.
I'm
I'll have
never
to see
a
if I
lawyer.
can find a specific one about it. I'm curious now.
Got double homework now.
Yeah. Ah, man. Okay. And in the state of Mississippi, you can file under no-fault rules. So irreconcilable differences, which just means, like, it's not like for cheating or whatever other reason. You just
It's just like, we don't like each other anymore.
we don't like each other anymore. We can't get along. We can't figure out these things.
That's actually why my mother got divorced the third time.
Ah.
Irreconcilable differences.
Oh, sorry. Let me reword that sentence. So, in the state of Mississippi, you can file under no-fault rules, or you can claim a fault against your spouse. Among the allowed faults, idiocy is an allowed reason.
That should be in every state.
I agree.
You should be able to walk into a courtroom and say, I married an idiot, and I need to not be.
Exactly.
And that's all the reasoning you need to give.
Case closed. Done.
I'd be like, here you go.
Divorce granted.
Divorce
Boom.
granted. You get everything. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for your pain.
This next one gives me cause for concern, and I really hope it doesn't come up that often. And I hope this is one of those, like, weird laws
Weird out
that got
there
written
kind of
out in, like, the 1800s and just never got updated and just, like, sits in a drawer somewhere.
Okay.
In the state of Tennessee, if your spouse attempts to kill you in a quote-unquote malicious manner, you have grounds for divorce. If your spouse attempts to kill you in a non-malicious manner, which I don't know what that fucking means, then you cannot use that as grounds for divorce.
How
Yeah.
do you attempt murder in a non-malicious...
Right?
Oh, I'm so sorry, sweetie. Let me just...
And a non-malicious...
Okay, the
non-malicious
only way I can think that they maybe mean is accidental homicide.
Mm-hmm.
Like a freak accident where you accidentally back over your spouse.
Yeah.
Something like that. Where it's like, yes, you technically murdered them,
Mm-hmm.
but it
Or
wasn't
attempted
like
to, or like...
intentional.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's what they mean.
Maybe. Just the wording of
But
it
you
is
should
very
still
peculiar.
have a right to... like, if my husband backed over me with his truck and I lived, I don't know that I'd want to stay married to that man.
Yeah.
like, accident or not. And, like,
regardless
I'm
of
sure-
intent.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know that I could ever look at him the same way again.
It's like, we're gonna have some major trust issue and gonna be in therapy
I just
for
feel
a long
like-
time.
We can stay married if you relinquish the driver's license. That's it.
You're never allowed to drive
You are
again.
not allowed to operate a motor vehicle ever again.
Yes.
Also, I'm sorry, but if someone backs over me with a vehicle, I don't know that I want to survive that.
Valid.
Let
Nope,
me go.
just let me go.
Let me go. That sounds absolutely awful.
Agreed.
I have a recurring... Sorry, this is a complete tangent. I have a recurring nightmare where I accidentally slip and slide under the tires of usually like a bus or
yeah.
a very large vehicle, and it slowly drives over. It's
Oh.
like a legitimate fear of mine.
Spooky. No
Yeah,
thanks.
I don't like it.
Hard pass.
It's especially fun when I have bus duty
Oh, yeah.
on like slippery days, and I'm like, this is the day that I just...
wee!
And I know that they're parked and it wouldn't actually happen, and it would like, the logistics isn't realistic, but it's like one of these days, just woo! Bye, Kelly. Now that'd be some fucking workman comp.
Oh, yeah, it would be. Heck yeah, you'd be set for life. Not putting any ideas out there.
Give me ideas, man.
All right. So, while it's probably never a good idea to treat your mother-in-law badly, in Wichita, Kansas, mistreatment of a mother-in-law specifically cannot be cited as grounds for divorce. So you can't divorce someone just because you and your spouses, your mother
your
and
wife
your spouse
and
just
your
don't
spouse,
go,
mother-in-law,
just can't get along.
or your husband or whatever. Interesting.
Yep. Yeah, that was a funny one. If you marry someone on a dare in Delaware or Colorado, this is grounds for an annulment.
Who the fuck's getting married on a dare?
Apparently enough people to
That
be about
is a
it,
seriously committed game of truth or dare.
right? I dare you to go get married.
Fuck no. I will take whatever
I triple
punishment.
dog dare you.
I will take whatever punishment I get for not doing that dare.
Fair, but obviously it's enough people that they made a law about it.
I mean, it's Delaware. There's not much to do there, I guess.
Like
It's pretty small and-
If you're in Colorado, just go look at some mountains.
Yeah,
There's
there's
rocks.
stuff to do in Colorado. I have never been to Delaware, so I don't actually know what it's like there. So it might be fine.
Either way. This one I found was interesting. Like, ooh, that could be really, really interesting and really funny. A professional degree obtained in New York, like a nursing or law degree, can be considered marital property during the divorce based on earning potential. So I'm just imagining this scenario where one spouse is a doctor or like one spouse is like a lawyer or whatever. The other's not. And in the divorce settlement, for some reason, somehow the non-lawyer spouse gets the law degree, and all of a sudden, like, they are technically a lawyer by getting the degree.
That would be fucking wild. I'm going to assume this is where alimony would come into play, because
Probably.
It's like a massive differentiation between wage.
Yeah.
And it would like severely impact their like life.
Right.
So I think they would just have to pay.
Yeah.
But like,
that's probably the interpretation of the law. But
like, if you wanted to be fucking literal, it's property. Like,
exactly. I'm just imagining
that's a
this
weird
hilarious
way
scenario
to like.
where this gal just like gets thrown into
Suddenly,
like a courtroom. You're like,
a waiter becomes a fucking surgeon.
Yep. It's like, well, I'm here because I won the doctor's degree in the divorce case. So...
where do I cut?
Yep. It's like scalpel.
Scalpel, please.
I just find this would be a really funny like SNL skit, I think.
Oh my god, yeah.
Because they follow the letter of the law.
Yeah.
But not the spirit of the law.
I love that. That would be a really fucking funny SNL skit.
Also in New York, a spouse, it allows a spouse to have his or her marriage annulled if the other spouse goes insane up to 5 years after the marriage. So
6 years, you're done. You're
done.
You're screwed.
Stuck.
You're just stuck with the crazy person.
You got a 5-year warranty. If they go crazy in those first 5 years, you're good. Send it back.
To be fair, most marriages don't last after 5 years.
That's fair. So that's probably
the majority of divorces happen within the first 5 years.
And finally, one of these last few of the crazy laws in the state of Connecticut, the law states that if you have not heard from your spouse for 7 years or more, you can file for divorce.
I'm sorry, 7 years? You
7
have to wait
years.
7.
Yep. So I'm assuming like if your spouse goes missing, or just like walks out, you have to wait 7 years.
Damn. Talk about commitment.
Mm-hmm. I imagine this is like for scenarios where like the person just walked off, or you don't know what happened, and like maybe they're still waiting like for said person to come back, or they're trying to get more information about the scenario, and then maybe after a certain amount of time they're like, okay, nope, I need to move on.
Yeah.
I need to move on with my life. And that 7 year period is probably just more of like a statute of limitation to be like, hey, just to make sure.
7 is a common denominator for statutes of limitations.
Mm-hmm.
But that's fucking wild.
I know. Just like
imagine just being like, yeah, sorry, I the husband's been gone for like 4 fucking years, but I can't marry you for another 3. Like we're just gonna have to,
Yep. Laws are weird.
I'm sure there's like loopholes to get around that, but
yeah, absolutely.
It's weird.
So those are some of the crazy laws. Now we're going to get into some weird and silly reasons people have gotten divorced.
I'm so excited to pass judgment on this.
These are going to be great.
Valid or not.
So
I plan to pass judgment on each of them on whether I think it's legit or not.
Yep. The first 4 are historic ones.
Love that.
Because like, you know how they used to, it's pretty common practice to post like wedding announcements in newspapers. Yep. There was a pretty common practice in like early newspapers. People would also post or like write little articles about divorces.
They also used to do death announcements too.
Yep.
Before obituaries. That were super fucking weird.
Yeah. So I found an article with some snippets.
Love it.
Of the headlines about some really silly divorces.
I'm here for it.
So these first 4 are like historical ones, and then the last 4 I have are a little bit more modern within the last recent years.
I love it. I'm here for it. I'm ready.
So, headline reads, fears wife's nagging will drive him insane. I got a chuckle at Victoria.
Victoria's dying over there in the corner. I love it.
Yes. So, I don't know the year of it, but it's pretty old print.
I say it looks.
It might be in the 19, like, I'm guessing late 1900s, or sorry, 1800s.
I was going to guess, like, pre-1920.
Yeah, I'm guessing, because I'll read the little snippet with it. San Francisco, April 19, 10 years of nagging is given as the chief cause for the filing of divorce complaint by Robert Cherry against Rosa Cherry, to whom he was married in Oakland in 1889. He states that
1909.
he states that he fears if he is forced to remain any longer with her, he will become insane. Hey, at least this is San Francisco, not New York, because it's past 5 years.
I get it.
I get it.
Or if she's nagging you, maybe just do what she asks.
Yeah.
And then you wouldn't be nagged.
Maybe let's, like, have some common sense and, like,
communication.
Just, like, communication. What?
Listen to our spouse? What?
Anticipate needs and follow through without being told. Lessen the mental load.
Men don't know what those words mean.
Nope. Moving on.
Anyway, I get it, but I don't.
Yeah.
That's where I rule on that one.
All right. Next one is wife who fed cat at table gets divorced.
I don't agree with this one.
Nope. I will feed my cats at the table. They are members of the family.
Yeah. I mean, they don't need to eat off of my dish.
Exactly. But like, they want to mirror you. That's why they hop up. Mm-hmm. Most of the time, that's why they want to be near you. They want to be doing the same thing you are. So, I'm on this woman's side. She can feed the kitty. Feed the kitty at the table.
Yep.
Next one. Tobacco and cat kisses. Too much.
Okay.
This one has a little snippet. New York, January 4th. Separation papers have been... I cannot read.
Probably filed?
Nope. I don't know that. I cannot. Oh, secured. Sorry, my printer.
It's kind of, weird. Like,
yeah, my printer phased it. Starting over. New York, January 4th. Separation papers have been secured by a man and wife because the husband could not give up the tobacco chewing habit and because the wife insisted on kissing the cat every night before retiring. Anyway, this last one is hilarious, but I have no further context about it because it only had the snippet of the headline.
Okay.
Ghost causes divorce.
Yes! I approve.
I approve of this
one. Approve. Yes.
I'll send you pictures of these so you can post it.
Yes, please
with
do.
them.
Especially the ghost causes divorce. I need that one specifically.
It's great. All right. These last four are snippets from an article. They don't go in too much detail, but they're still pretty silly and they're a little more modern. So the first one is, don't judge a job by its cover. These are my own little names for these scenarios. Judge Judy divorced her first husband because he viewed her career as a hobby. Uh-huh.
I support Judge Judy.
Judge Judy. Let's go.
Snaps for Judge Judy.
And quote,
I adore her.
I know. Her energy's great.
Watching her is one of my favorite guilty pleasures. She's so fucking funny.
Mm-hmm. I put her on at work sometimes.
She's a good, like, background noise. Sometimes, yeah. She is so sassy.
She calls it how it is.
And I love her.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. In an article, she quotes, my first husband is a lovely, lovely man, but he always viewed my job as a hobby, and there came a time where I resented that, she said.
Valid.
Case closed.
She's a fucking judge.
The judge.
Which there are not a lot of female judges in this world.
Mm-mm.
Because fuck the patriarchy.
Yeah. Yep.
She deserves better than that.
That she does. Alrighty. Next one. Love. Sweet love. I am a baker and cake decorator by profession, and my ex-husband told me I didn't respect his sugar addiction because I had sweets in the house. I told him that it's his own self-control problem. It's literally my job, and he deflected and blamed me. I look back 9 months later, and I can't help but laugh at what a pathetic reason it was to end a marriage over. He had no issues with it in the first 9 years we were together and happily gobbled up whatever I made before that conversation, even when I would say they weren't for him.
Fucking bastard. Yeah, no, she deserved better too.
I agree. Next one, psychic intuition. Ooh. This one's super short. I could not find any more details on it, but it said, wife's friend went to a psychic who said she should divorce her husband. So she did.
Wow.
Yep.
That's...
Like, if there was, like, I wish there was more information on this one, but, like, it's so vague that, like, I had no way to really kind of dig into that.
That's so interesting.
Right? But I know there's some people that just, they do, like...
They implicitly believe whatever the psychic tells them. It's wild.
I would imagine, like, I would hope in this scenario that it's saying, hey, you might want to consider this because of X, Y, and Z for, like, some reason. Like, hey, you should look into this because you're going to want to divorce this guy. You're like, ASAP. But it's like, yeah, we're getting divorced. Why? Because my psychic told me to.
Not even her psychic. Her friend's psychic. Yep. My friend's psychic told me to. It'd be like you going home and going, Kane, we're getting divorced because Kelly's psychic said we had to.
Yep.
I don't go to see a psychic, first of all.
Yeah, but there's like...
True mediumship does exist. I do believe that. Mm-hmm. But people that claim they are psychics, probably not.
Nah. Last one, I believe you will be fully on board with.
Okay.
The wrong coffee.
Oh, 100%. Divorce immediately.
Don't need to get any more details.
You fuck with my coffee? Divorce. That's not even divorce. That is justifiable homicide. That's me waiting the 7 years because your body's in the fucking yard.
Yep. I love it.
Don't fuck with my coffee.
Don't fuck with the coffee. Here's the little story behind it.
Yes! I approved. Did you hear her?
No, what'd she say?
Said it'd be a good tomato crop that year.
Oh.
I approve.
Yes, Victoria.
Go, Victoria. Welcome to the dark side.
Yes. All right, and here's the little story that goes along with the wrong coffee.
Story about the wrong made coffee, and it ended in somebody being dead. Sorry, the wine's. I finished my wine.
I love it. I love it. I divorced my ex because he bought the wrong kind of coffee for the third time in a row.
Oh, third time? 100% justified.
Yep.
Divorce that man.
Done. This was obviously not the only reason / whole story, but it's
the only reason I need.
Valid. But it was a definitive event in my mind when I knew the marriage was over. I had asked him nicely the last 2 times he bought that kind to pick a different variety because it tastes burnt. I had 3 little kids and my morning coffee was my lifeblood. We were always tight on money anyways, and he just had to ruin that small thing for me. It was all the years of disrespect, weaponized incompetence, and his refusal to act like a fucking adult that all culminated in him buying the wrong coffee and me losing the will to fight for that one-sided relationship.
Did I write this?
Bravo, queen.
Did I write this? Is this me?
This is you in an alternate
It's literally
world.
me.
This is you in an alternate world. But, like, yes, this exactly. And also just the fact, like, if you are with someone and, like, you know they take coffee, like, they know they like this, and, like, they've told you, like, if they have never, like...
It's one thing to just buy it on accident.
Yeah.
But when they say, please do not buy this, I don't like the taste of it, that's malicious. Mm-hmm. That man was asking for some fucking hemlock in his coffee. Just saying. Coffee hides the taste of cyanide. Especially if you put a splash of cream in there because it tastes like almonds, so they just think it's an amaretto. I don't know why I know this.
Probably because you've looked it up for a book at some point or another.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And so those are some...
To be perfectly clear, I've never murdered anyone. I feel like I need to say that. Have I planned out the perfect murder? Yes.
For books.
Not for books. Just in case.
Just in case.
But, yep. It wouldn't involve cyanide. It's too easily to trace back to you.
Fair enough. Yeah, so those are some weird reasons why people have gotten divorced. It's like, okay. I can understand it. But also, it's so funny. Like, it's so funny. All of these ones like the last couple that I read, the second intuition one, that was, like, the weirdest, like,
that is
there's got to be more to that.
I'm sure there is. I hope we can find it one day.
Yeah. And the other ones, like, at their core, justifiable, because it just sounds like the spouse...
Shitty relationships.
Yeah, shitty relationships, or just, like,
not respecting one another.
But the reasons that broke the camel's back tend to be so funny. Because it usually is just one
that last little straw that you're like...
little thing is like...
Fuck it, I quit.
Ah! Mm-hmm. And they're like, you're ending...
And then they never see the divorce coming. They're like the shittiest,
I never saw
most
it coming.
unhelpful,
She broke up with me over
reliable
coffee.
being. And they're like, but what? And
They
they're
try
like,
to make you seem unreasonable because they're breaking up... Because they focus on
that one
little thing. And not
you're like, no,
the
this
whole
is one
entire-
of like 18 million reasons that you're a fucking loser. It just happens to be the one that I went, nope, I'm done.
Yep. Long story
my
short,
God.
guys.
Buy the right coffee.
Yeah. Buy the right coffee.
Buy
guys.
your... Don't go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. Guys, gals, whatever you identify as, listen to your partner. Communicate. Buy the right fucking coffee.
Just bring your partner caffeine and a little snickety snack, and you'll be fine.
You'll be fine. Help around the house and pick up things after yourself, and don't wait to be fucking told like I'm your fucking mother.
Yes. And occasionally just like give them a little back massage.
There you
without expecting anything else from it.
There you go. Yeah. There's your marriage counseling, your marriage therapy.
Your my therapy fee is $154 an hour, so that will be cash or card or Venmo.
Exactly. And we're going on almost 2.5 hours now, so
Hour and a half.
Only
an hour and a half. We're good.
There you guys go.
But yeah,
session.
that was actually really enjoyable.
Yes.
I like it. We're gonna go significantly darker
Oh boy.
from this point forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bring it on. I'll
So-
sip my wine and
This is the one I
Cozy.
kind of happened across late because the first two were pretty short. And I was struggling with the spooky spotlight. I really wanted to focus on, because I'd kind of gone with the reverse of my card pretty consistently with like confusion, miscommunication, hostility, even like my weird, what in the world, like with the hostility with what's his face?
yeah.
Arguments. So with that in mind, I kind of sat there and went, well, when I think of scary things and I think of confusion, brutality, and what was the other word that like really triggered it for me? Destruction. What comes to mind? Like truly horrific brutality, destruction, confusion.
I think of like war.
That would have been a good one too.
Mm-hmm.
But I think more like, for me, spooky spotlight is more like in the paranormal realm.
Gotcha. Like something like being like possessed.
That's exactly right. I went the route of demonic possession.
Let's go.
So we are going to talk about not just any demonic possession, but what is considered the most documented, most prolific, and most haunting case of possession in American history.
Oh boy.
We're going to talk about the possession of Anna Eklund.
Oh. It's been a while since I've like listened or read anything about this one, but yes. This is good. This is gonna be good.
So I have a little snippet just from like the wiki side of things to like set the scene. But the majority of this is going to come from the Dark Histories podcast, which is a phenomenal podcast. I discovered because of this article, and I listened to this episode, but they also like had it like written out for word for the whole episode. So I'm just going to read it to you.
Beautiful.
Which is why it's thick as fuck. So buckle in.
Dang.
Because we're going to get dark.
Dang.
It is truly terrifying. So, in the early 20th century, the quiet town of Erling, Iowa, became the center of one of America's most terrifying possession cases, known as the possession of Anna Eklund. This event has since been labeled, quote, the most thoroughly documented exorcism in U.S. history.
Damn.
And I have a book up on that shelf that talks about it.
Oh, dang. I think I bedazzled that one.
You did. Yep. No, that one is the one, M1, murder, what is it?
Oh, it's the one on the far left there, right?
Yeah.
Possessed?
Possessed.
Gotcha.
Possessed. The other one is the case of the little boy. I can't remember his name now. But yeah. Anyway, Anna's story shocked the Catholic Church and fascinated paranormal research for generations. Her harrowing experience of torment, faith, and the supernatural inspired films, books, and debates about what truly happened to this young woman from Wisconsin.
We're a little local gal.
We're going home. For those who love exploring the darker corners of history, the story is a chilling reminder that evil, real or imagined, can leave a lasting mark. Father Reisinger's first-hand account was published in 1935 as Begone Satan. It's the name of the book. Shocking readers worldwide. The story was covered in Time magazine and influenced both Catholic exorcism procedures and the broader study of possession overall. Skeptics suggest psychological or medical explanations, but believers view it as undeniable proof of spiritual warfare. The case influenced modern media, inspiring such films as The Exorcism of Anna Eklund from 2016, and contributed ideas to The Exorcist of 1973 and The Ritual in 2017.
Okay.
Which I actually was going to watch The Ritual, and I started watching it, and then I got distracted. But Anna's story continues to spark debate, highlighting the tension between faith, the human psyche, and the unexplained forces that may exist in this world. Her life and ordeal remain central to American paranormal history, and the story of Anna Eklund endures as one of the most infamous possession cases in U.S. history, and it remains infamous as one of the most well-known possession cases of all time. So, this is from the Dark Histories podcast, and here's how it goes.
Alrighty.
Then, too, her whole body became so horribly disfigured that the regular contour of her body vanished. Her pale, death-like, and emaciated head, often assuming the size of an inverted water pitcher, became as red as glowing embers. Her eyes protruded out of their sockets, her lips swelled to proportions equaling the size of hands, and her thin, emaciated body was bloated to such enormous size that the pastor and some of the sisters drew back out of fright, thinking the woman would be torn to pieces and burst asunder.
Yikes.
At times, her abdominal region and extremities became as hard as iron and stone. In such instances, the weight of her body pressed into the iron bedside so that the iron rods of the bed bent to the floor.
Yikes.
This is a direct quote from the book by the priest that performed the exorcism.
That's intense. I'm just imagining just like a swelling and just like,
Yep.
No thanks.
These were the words chronicled in Begone Satan, a pamphlet written by Carl Vogel, which documented a prolonged exorcism carried out on a young girl named Anna Eklund in 1928. Heavily documented at the time and later in Time magazine, it was alleged that she had been possessed by several demons, including Beelzebub, Judas Iscariot, and Lucifer himself. This is Dark Histories, where the facts are worse than fiction. That's their tagline, and I fucking love it.
That's good. Good job, guys.
Yes. The story of Anna Eklund is not one for the faint of heart. At the time of the publication in 1935, it would have been quite a terrifying and eye-opening education into the life and practices of one of the Catholic Church's more extreme solutions to the troubles of demonic possession. It is, however, also a tale that willfully obfuscates. Thank you. Obfuscates? That's not a word I've come across many times. The history of its subject. There are precious few facts that detail Anna Eklund's early life. In fact, even now, her name is not 100% certain. She has also been called Anna Schmidt in many contemporary reports, simply calling her a certain 40-year-old woman. Dramatic as her story was, her name was just one of the details repressed following the incidents of 1928 as a means of protection from the public who may very well not have been taken kindly to being around a person with such a strange and potentially threatening past. Of the precious few details concerning Anna's early life, it is generally accepted that she was born in or around 1882 in Wisconsin. Her father was named Jacob Eklund, with her mother appearing to have left the scene whilst she was still at an early age. There are no records of her name nor where she had gone, or indeed, if that was the case, what had befallen her. Anna was a practicing and devout Catholic who attended church several times a week and appeared to enjoy the religious ceremony and rituals of religion. She lived out the first 14 years of her life seemingly as a normal child for the times, though her father was rumored to have made even such a simple existence difficult for her. Jacob Eklund was, as far as it can be told, a difficult father at best. He was a drunk and not only against Anna's practicing of religion, but openly mocked the church and its ministers. On his deathbed, whilst having a final sacrament administered by a priest, he scoffed and insulted him, his last words those of hate. Though the records of the family history are not particularly detailed, he took a mistress named Mina whilst his wife was still alive, and the woman of his fancy just so happened to be either his sister by blood or stepsister by marriage and Anna's aunt.
Ew.
Yeah, we're getting dark.
Oh.
Nina had a colorful background of her own and was well known to the town for having a reputation of practicing witchcraft and black magic, which should not be a negative thing. Let me just point out, I'm only reading this as is detailed in the history.
Like, just because someone participates in Wicca and in that realm does not make it evil.
Exactly.
There are those that want to practice in the dark realm of it. And
there is dark magic, and it exists, but not all dark magic is bad.
Exactly.
It's just dark.
It's all about your intention.
Yes, intent is what matters. But anyway, regardless, this is 1928, so I recognize that they have different viewpoints back then. Most dubbed her rather straightforwardly a witch, and as she passed through the streets, rumors flew openly. At some point between Anna's 10th and 14th birthday, Joseph had on several occasions tried to pressure Anna into an incestuous relationship.
Blech.
Yep, fuck him. Though Anna had flatly refused him outright, good for you, girl. This pressure and refusal from Anna, as one might imagine, caused no small amount of tension in the relationship, which spiraled into a very dark place. Duh.
Yeah.
Trauma
no shit.
of the utmost grossness.
Yeah, to the utmost level. Ew.
It is around this time, at the dawning of the 20th century, that we first hear of Anna in any real detail, as it is also around the age of 14 that she started to act a little differently. She began missing church, and when questioned, told of how she was unable to attend, of how she felt revulsion in the presence of religious symbology, and a physical resistance that was creating a literal barrier stopping her from entering any religious building. She had also begun uttering sexualized thoughts of unspeakable acts. This behavior was deemed as a form of possession in 1908 by Father Theophilus Reisinger, who was called in to perform an exorcism, which he undertook apparently successfully on June 18th, 1908. I'm going to claim right here. I'm not even going to go further. Whether we believe in possession or not, this is like textbook abuse. Like, she was 100% being sexually abused by her father.
Yeah.
And, like, this is a result. Like, that, all of those statements are, like, so textbook classic signs of sexual abuse. So I maintain that is fact.
Yeah.
That speaking of sexualized thoughts shouldn't be cause for belief of possession.
Nope. It should be just a red flag that something unhealthy is happening.
But this is also 1908.
She's in danger.
This is 1908. I recognize this is 1908. However, in today's society, if a 14-year-old girl comes to you saying, I don't feel safe in religion, and is starting to speak in an uncharacteristic sexualized manner, ding, 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 red flags, investigate. Anyway, I digress. Continuing on. Though this ordeal sees scant few mentions in any written history of the case, all seemingly went well, as again Anna's life falls into obscurity. One can assume that she lived a relatively normal life, if somewhat troubled. At some point, her father passed away, thank God. And once again, Anna was finding it more and more difficult to practice religion. This time, her actions against her faith had stepped up, and she found herself lashing out at spiritual counselors, at one point attempting to suffocate one. She was gaining compulsive urges to destroy religious symbols and was hearing voices that were driving her to despair. She initially sought the help of doctors, and after several qualified physicians had observed and dismissed her as being physically fit over a period of several years, Anna instead turned to the spiritual and enlisted the help of the church. Once in the care of the church, her counselors themselves spent several years attempting to diagnose and alleviate her condition, and failed. During the period, they took note of several oddities they found difficult to explain in natural terms. First, it was noted that Anna was able to understand languages she had never understood previously and had never studied. In particular, it appeared that she now could understand Latin, and when priests spoke to her in the language, it was said that she foamed at the mouth, becoming enraged. I maintain if you are a devout Catholic and have spent your entire life in the Catholic Church, you're going to understand Latin.
Yeah, you pick it up.
I'm getting a nod of approval from someone who has experienced this. So I don't think that is that's a little questionable to me.
Yeah, the foaming.
I'm going to poke some holes in this, okay?
Yeah,
the foaming of the mouth is weird.
I don't understand that one, but the ability to understand some things, because
you're going to pick up at least basic Latin if you are a regular Catholic. And they said she went several times a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think that has a lot of merit. Anyway. Furthermore, she was able to sense when blessed articles were in her vicinity, becoming furious. Even normal objects which had no specific spiritual significance but had been blessed or touched by holy water would not pass unnoticed, and she would call the priests out on such objects, demanding them be removed at once. That one's a little more weird.
Yeah.
When the priests caring for her began to suspect supernatural forces were at play, They asked Anna herself what she thought of the matter, and she acted completely unaware and was able to give any information regarding who or what may be behind supposed demonic troubles that were now making her life so difficult. Finally, in 1928, after many years of these observations, the church formally deemed Anna to be possessed, and once again, Father Reisinger, by now very well known and trusted in his work on demonic exorcism, was approached to take the duty for the second time. It is from this point on a fuller picture of Anna that we can build, as her time spent with Reisinger is documented completely. In fact, it is still to this day one of the most documented cases of exorcism performed by a member of the Catholic Church. The details of the ritual were witnessed by Father Joseph Steiger, a long-term friend of Reisinger, and both witness accounts are included in the pamphlet Begone Satan, written by Karl Vogel and published in Germany in 1935, and then republished in 1973 in English.
Dang.
Its original intentions were act as an informational pamphlet to be handed out at seminaries to the church to inform and educate on the subject of demonic possession and the practice of exorcism, and the pamphlet tells of a very strange tale indeed. So we're going to get a little history on Reisinger himself, because he's a very pivotal figure in this. Father Theophilus, something like that. Reisinger was born in Bavaria in 1868, growing up in a small family farm. He was highly religious from a young age and was just 12 years old when, while suffering from illness, decided to devote his life to God, and at the age of 21 joined the monastery. During his period in, I can't pronounce this word, Altotting, that's the name of the village. Reisinger decided that his future lied in the priesthood, but was denied the opportunity by the provincial father, who declined his application.
Interesting. I wonder why.
I feel like that's not very common.
No, because I feel like they'd be like, yes, let's get more people.
I feel like you got to do a lot to get denied to be it's questionable. Unperturbed, he set off to study in Salzbach, and upon graduation with a strong recommendation in 1892, he left for New York, where he stayed for a brief period before setting in Detroit, where he began his life as a novitiate, I don't know. A novice, basically.
He's a novice.
I don't freaking speak Latin, y'all.
He's a novice priest.
He's a novice priest. In 1899, his training and studies completed. He was ordained as a priest and wound up back in New York, placed at St. Fidelis Monastery. His life took a bizarre turn in 1912 when he was transferred to Wisconsin, where he undertook exorcism and the battle of evil spirits. This work was not without criticism, and though he was well-liked generally, it appears that there were some that were not keen on the amount of attention he brought to the perhaps unfashionable elements of the Catholic Church. In his short biography of his life, there's a passage that reads, quote, "We must add that there were some, but without and within the province, who could not see eye to eye with Father Theophilus. We think it is true to say that the opposition was not due to the personality of the man, but the nature of his work, specifically the exorcisms." Indeed, his life and work had been widely publicized in the press, and he had become more and more embroiled in the practice of demonic extraction. No case had gathered more media attention at the time than his work on Anna Eklund, which saw him placed in the cover of Time magazine and loomed large over his head as he prepared to battle with the demons for the second time. And now we're going to get into the exorcism itself.
All right.
1928. The drama of Anna's second exorcism in 1928 began immediately with her trip to the convent where the ordeal would take place. It had been deemed appropriate that everything would be organized and undertaken in strict secrecy, and that Anna should be taken away from her home so as not to draw attention to herself and to allow her to return to her normal life after the procedure. No one was to know of the events outside of those directly in contact with either Anna or those working alongside and assisting directly with the exorcism itself. Father Reisinger had thought he'd found a suitable location in a convent in Erling, Iowa, though he first needed to gain permission from both the Mother Superior of the convent and the pastor of the local parish to carry out the duty within the working borders. The pastor, Father Steiger, was a long-term friend of Reisinger's, and so when approached, though reluctant, agreed that he could have permission from if he could get permission from the Mother Superior, he would welcome the ritual to be performed under his watch. This was a rather disingenuous deal on Steiger's part, who expressed his fears of the practice to both Reisinger and the bishop. He had only entertained into the deal, doubting that the mother would agree in the first place. He was then rather dismayed to find out that Reisinger had, in fact, already gained permission prior to his approach from the Mother Superior.
Yeah.
And so the pastor anxiously stepped aside and permitted Anna to be transported to the convent where the exorcism could begin. Anna traveled by train to the convent itself, and the priest escorting her first found it necessary to make the personnel of the train aware of the situation as a precautionary measure. When she arrived at Erling Station, though it is documented she was herself very willing and happy to enlist the help of the church and to submit to the exorcism, she did attack the priest who came to meet her, lashing out and choking them.
Lovely.
Yeah. Reisinger was to arrive at the convent on the same night as Anna, but by another route, so as to keep them separate until the exorcism was to begin. He had arranged to be driven by Steiger, whose car was apparently rather new and in working order. On the night in question, however, the car failed to start, and though no mechanical fault could be found, failed in making any headway towards the station where he was to collect the priest. Arriving 2 hours late, he found a calm Reisinger who merely shrugged off the complications of the work of the devil, who stated, quote, "will try his utmost to foil our plans." Finally, all parties converged at the convent and preparations could begin in earnest. And then the exorcism begins. The exorcism of Anna Eklund took place between August 18th and 26th.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. On the night of the 17th of August, once everyone had arrived and settled into their temporary new home, Anna immediately began emitting behavior that would terrify the permanent occupants. During their time at the convent, the nuns would assist both Father Reisinger with his duties as exorcist and take care and watch over Anna. During meal preparations, one of the sisters in the kitchen took it upon herself to sprinkle holy water over Anna's meals before taking it to her room and serve to her. Upon entering, Anna displayed a trait that would happen time and time again over the coming months. The mere presence of the food, blessed as it was, enraged her, and she, quote, began purring like a cat, whilst refusing to eat a single mouthful until it was taken away and a fresh, unblessed meal had been brought to her. This reaction to and the knowledge of blessed items, despite the fact that she had no knowledge of what had or had not been blessed prior to entering the room, became a feature with Anna howling and screaming like an animal. She is described as writhing in agony on the bed whilst making various unnatural noises.
Mm-hmm. That's really
interesting. Yeah. Quote, "This ugly bellowing and howling took place every day and at times lasted for hours," wrote Vogel in the pamphlet. Quote, "and at other times it sounded as though a horde of lions or hyenas were let loose, then again the mewing of cats, or the bellowing of cattle, or the barking of dogs." This consequently terrified the nuns who were assisting the exorcism and drove them to create a rotating schedule that allowed for each of them only to work a short period before being able to rest and recuperate away from the screams. This also created a second problem, that the local villagers of Erling, who day by day during the performances of the exorcism could hear the sounds echoing from inside the convent's walls, gathered around, exchanging quiet whispers of what they believed might be happening inside. On the morning of the 18th of August, the exorcism began. Father Reisinger almost immediately came to the conclusion that it would be a prolonged affair that would span several attempts, and the first episode lasted for 8 days, until the 26th of August, opening as it meant to go on. On Father Reisinger's advice, the sisters tied the arms of Anna's dress to forego her use of her hands, intending to stop or inhibit her attacking any of those present. The priests, along with the pastor, attended Mass that morning and then, after arming themselves with various holy symbols, took off to her room to begin the exorcism. As soon as Reisinger began reciting the names of the Holy Trinity, Anna leapt from the bed, slipping her through the hands of the sisters assisting the ritual, and landed, as documented and witnessed by 3 several priests and nuns, atop the door sideways on the wall where she clung, spitting and growling and murmuring. Yep. It took all present a moment to regain their composure before prying her down and lying her back on the bed, and further assistance could be called to help hold her to the bed frame so that she could not repeat this trick. Though Anna had not eaten well for weeks, and not at all during the days of the exorcism, she began to froth at the mouth, vomiting vast quantities of substances, which is what inspired the exorcism, the exorcist. At times, this was described as fluid, and others as real physical objects, such as tobacco leaves and spices. She reportedly only taken a spoonful of water and milk on the mornings. However, during the ritual itself was said to produce 20 to 30 times of upchuck a day. I'm not going to say the word they used because it's gross. In, quote, quantities that were humanly impossible. Though at all... sorry, I lost my spot. Anna remained comatose throughout this, her eyes and mouth closed, apparently completely unaware of what was going on. In her state, with her lips unmoved, she still spoke in various languages, predominantly Latin, German, and English, whilst other times she was described as communicating with now familiar bestial growls or demonic murmurings. Though these bursts of speech, Reisinger learned all manner of details concerning the possession of the presences concerning the demonic presences within Anna, and came to the conclusion that she was possessed by not only one demon but 5. Those of her father Jacob and his mistress Mina, now apparently residing in hell, along with Beelzebub, Judas, and Lucifer himself.
Okay.
Alongside the main 5 were scores of other lesser demons who would arrive in packs, screaming and growling atop one another until they could be driven away during the exorcism. The process of battle continued for 8 days until the group began to fear for Anna's life as she became emaciated and pale. On the 26th of August, it was deemed necessary to break the proceedings and to commence anew after Anna and all present had been given time to recuperate and renew their convictions for further battles. It was only after these exorcisms ceased that Anna would once again open her eyes and return to a normal waking state.
Freaky.
Mm-hmm. And now we get on to the next exorcism.
Oh my gosh, that is already an ordeal. That was over a freaking week.
Yeah. 8 days.
That's insane.
The second exorcism began on the 13th of September, and this time lasted for a further 7 days. Another fucking week.
Yikes.
The group was able to ascertain further details of the demons that possessed Anna, driving her to frenzy. When spoken to separately, each demon would answer Reisinger in the language they were addressed in, and Reisinger theorized that they would have been able to command any language they wished. The first to offer up clues as to why he was present was Beelzebub. He told Reisinger in broken, winding sentences that it is he who had possessed Anna from the age of 14 and who had been the subject of her initial possession. He had been charged by Satan to undertake this task, and it was Anna's father, Jacob, who had commanded Satan to possess his daughter, cursing her for unwillingness to commit incest with him. Yeah!
Oh, that just...
Mm-hmm. The next demon claimed to... that it was his charge to torture Anna and drive her to suicide. To, quote, bring her to despair so that she will commit suicide and hang herself. She must get the rope. She must go to hell. Yeah.
But what reasoning?
Yep.
Ugh.
Later, when Jacob would arrive, he would enrich the group with his story, offering a motive for the possession. He had spent his life ridiculing the church and casting aside any semblance of faith. However, this was not enough to cast him to damnation. It was, as Reisinger submitted, the cursing of his own child and bringing about her demonic possession that committed him to eternal damnation.
Mm-hmm. It's like, if I'm going down, I'm bringing her down with me.
Mm-hmm. When they spoke to Mina, they believed that she was a woman of hatred and disjointed speeches, saying, quote, filled with such a bitter hatred and spite, they far surpassed all that had happened so far. Her demeanor towards the Blessed Sacrament is beyond description. She would spit and vomit in hideous manner so that both Father Theophilus and the pastor had to use handkerchiefs constantly to wipe the spittle from their habit and cassock.
Gross.
Yeah. These details were offered in broken fragments and shattered conversations throughout the wailings of lesser demons. They would break into the stream of questioning with their own howling and protestations of pain and suffering. Whilst the interrogations were underway, Anna's bizarre behavior continued. At times, she became so light her body appeared to levitate from the bed, and at others, so heavy that the weight crushed her into the bedsheets, bending the legs of the iron-framed bed. She verbally assaulted those present and spoke of their sins for which they had never confessed. Those present continued to fear her for her life as her body became red and swollen to the extent she was unrecognizable, and all feared that she would burst, only for her to then become emaciated and pale, hard to the touch. Her extremities stretched and elongated, and her lips became swollen compared to the sizes of hands. The room itself became a stench-filled pit of despair, and none could remain for any long period of time.
That's just insane. Just the description of that alone is just gruesome.
I kind of want to find this pamphlet. Once again, the exorcism was stalled, and on the 20th of September, after further 7 days, was suspended for fear of Anna's life and the health of those present.
How considerate.
I mean, at least they didn't continue until she died, which actually was a very common thing during exorcisms of this time. And why exorcisms aren't really performed anymore, because most people die from them, from dehydration and starvation.
There's literally an episode of Criminal Minds where someone dies during an exorcism.
I love that episode. Throughout the periods of exorcism, the many demons speaking through Anna would berate and utter torturous ramblings towards those present, but none received more than those of Father Steger, the pastor. He found it difficult to sleep at night and told that he heard rats scratching in the walls night after night. That's not a good sign. That his room would vibrate and rumble. In both cases, once he had given prayer and equipped himself with religious symbols, the problems would cease, but the prolonged disturbances had begun to take a toll on his well-being. He voiced this concern with Reisinger, who had been a lifelong friend, but whose presence now brought about a feeling of annoyance. Reisinger, as usual, took it all in stride, assuring it was but the work of the devil and he was working to dislodge that relationship. Not wholly relieved, Steiger reluctantly continued with his insistence, and so it was that on one evening, during the second period of exorcism, they believed that Lucifer was able to carry out his threat, this time directly on his life. It had been unusual for Steiger and all those present to listen to prolonged speeches containing threats, and at one point the devil had told Steiger of how he would regret his involvement once the parish would turn against him under the puppeteering of the devil, saying, quote, I'll incite the whole parish against you. I will culminate you in such a way that you will no longer be able to defend yourself, that you will have to pack up and leave in shame and regret. That Friday, the pastor was called to a home visit within the parish to read the sacraments of a dying woman. The family offered to collect the priest and drive him to their home, but found their car unable to start, and so with the utmost care, due to the devil's threat lying in the back of his mind, he made his preparations, praying for a safe journey, and took off in his own car to the home of the dying woman. He had driven the road 100 times before, and this lent him a manner of confidence, yet still he drove with caution. On his return journey, however, a black cloud appeared in the road ahead at the very moment he had driven on a long bridge that cast over a deep ravine. The car slammed into the railings of the bridge, overturned, and was left hanging over the edge, precariously balanced, and leaving Steiger tilted over that edge a moment from either life or death.
Yikes!
Yep.
That's...
Uh-huh.
No, thank you.
As luck would have it, he had suffered no serious physical injury and was able to crawl from underneath the wreckage, where he was met by a local farmer who had heard the accident and driven to the scene to offer aid. The farmer drove Steiger first to the doctors, who declared him fit, then after back to the convent. As Steiger entered the room containing Anna, the devil filled the room with laughter, saying, quote, I certainly showed him up today. What about your new auto, that dandy car which was smashed to smithereens? It serves you right.
Spooky.
Right?
Nope. Big nope.
For the remainder of the exorcism, the devil would repeat the incident to Steiger, threatening him to, quote, be ready for a whole lot more fun.
Oh, joy.
It was with such burdens and heavy sense of thought that finally the third and final exorcism was to take place, this time driving all to the limits of their physical and mental capabilities.
Hey, third time's the charm, right?
This is apparently. On the 15th of December, 1928, the group began what was become the third and final session of exorcisms. As was usual, the stench, the growls, and insults continued as expected. From morning till night, they battled with the demonic entities. Steiger deemed himself unfit and unable to be present for much of the final session, having reached a breaking point. Understandably.
Yeah.
He found himself other work throughout the parish and kept away for large periods, but assisted Reisinger when he could. Over the past two exorcisms, many of the lesser demons had been driven away, and now a final battle awaited between the exorcist and the four main perpetrators of the possession. Reisinger, sensing victory, took it upon himself to continue the exorcisms throughout the night for 3 days and nights, continuing the rituals nonstop. It's fucking wild. Many were concerned he would collapse and gave his appearance to that of, quote, a walking corpse. He had spent every ounce of energy and finally on the 22nd of December made a significant breakthrough when Anna sprung from the bed, levitating so that only her heels barely touched the sheets. Exhausted, Reisinger commanded the demons to hell. He later admitted to a vision of the room circled in flames with Lucifer and Beelzebub standing in the corner, seething in rage with their inability to assault the priest. He described Lucifer as, quote, tall with matted black fur on his lower hooved body. At the end of the vision, the room shook and rumbled with a vast energy before falling silent. Anna collapsed onto the bed, opened her eyes, and smiled, saying, quote, my Jesus' mercy, praise be Jesus. The demons had departed, and with that, the exorcism ended. All that was left of the months of struggle was a foul stench that permeated the room. Over the following months and years, Anna's life reportedly returned to normal. She continued practicing her faith with, quote, only a few small possessions. No big deal.
Just having some minor reoccurrence.
Minor possession relapse. And none that she could not handle alone. She returned to the convent 4 months later to express her thanks and was in good spirits and health. The convent itself fared less well, however, with every nun present during the time of the exorcism putting in for a transfer.
Valid.
I'd
be like, nope.
Unable to remain within the memories that had gone through those trying months.
Like, this was not in the job description.
I did not sign up for this.
Bye.
As a final word in the pamphlet, Teresa Wegerer, a housekeeper of Father Steiger, gave the following testimony. Quote, I was a witness to almost the whole period of the exorcism of the Erling possession case, and I can truthfully say that the facts mentioned in the Begone Satan are correct. Some of the scenes were even more frightful than described in the booklet. There is not the slightest doubt in my mind that the devils were present, and I will never forget the horrible scenes vile, filthy, and dirty as long as I live.
Damn.
In conclusion, the descriptions and witness accounts of the exorcism of Anna Eklund are at times bizarre and at others completely fantastical as far as any skeptical person might understand. Whether or not we believe them is a matter of each of us personally, however. It remains fascinating both in the ability to conceptualize an abstract aspect of faith and psychology and the sheer amount of international attention and scrutiny that the case gathered. Even 80 years on, her exorcism remains a pivotal case and has influenced generations of fiction and popular media on the subject. As far as Anna Eklund is concerned, after her ordeal, she appears to have finally been able to cast aside the possession and vanished into history with only a few short lines of reassurance that for the rest of her life, she no longer suffered from demonic influence and seemingly lived out her days peacefully and able to embrace her Catholic faith. Reisinger continued his work as a priest in the Catholic Church, undertaking his more standard duties alongside exorcisms until the 9th of November 1941, when he passed away peacefully at age 73. For Anna and many others whose lives have been affected by demonic intrusion, the words of Reisinger will read in their memories, quote, "Depart, ye friends of hell, begone Satan."
Wow. That's insane.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of whether or not all that or parts of it or none
regardless
of it,
of the factual or non-factual parts of it, yeah.
Yeah. I hope that Anna moved on to have a fruitful life from that, and whatever trauma she faced in that ordeal and before that ordeal, I hope she healed.
I hope so too.
I hope she healed.
God
dang.
Yeah. Jesus. I can't, I mean, I go back and forth on what I believe in regards to demonic possession.
Yeah.
Because I do believe that there are evil entities in this world.
Yeah, 100%.
I think you can't live in this world and not believe that evil exists.
Exactly. If there's gonna be good, there's
balance.
There's gotta be balance.
I think a lot of demonic possession, especially early on, was actually
mental illness.
No, like schizophrenia or similar mental disorders.
Mm-hmm. Or even like medical issues too, because like rabies.
Yeah, she could have rabies. She would have died if
she definitely would have died if she had rabies. But like rabies,
but
time was thought as possession because of the foaming at the mouth and just like the insensical.
Well, and there were so many there were so many things that people did and ingested that were like so toxic, we just didn't know then, that like could have caused symptoms like foaming at the mouth or like malnutrition or swelling or inflammation. Like,
and we just didn't have the medical knowledge of it, so they just chalked it up to religion or possession.
Yeah. I would personally, I would venture to say that the majority of quote documented demonic possession cases are not actually demonic possession. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that the demonic possession doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. I will say the one case I've ever watched anything on that I genuinely went, that might be legitimate. Mm-hmm. There's a couple episodes of the TV show Paranormal State, which is my personal favorite paranormal TV show. It's genuinely chilling, and it feels more realistic and not trumped up,
more genuine
compared to some of the other ones. It seems more genuine. It's also focused on helping the families, not can we get evidence. It's literally, they go into this with how can we help this family feel safe.
Yeah.
That is their number one goal, and I appreciate that because that's what like paranormal research and stuff should be about. But there is an episode, and if you are a fan of this show, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, called I Am 6. That is about a young woman who's early 20s who is possessed. And that episode I've rewatched it at least 3 or 4 times, and it makes my skin crawl. Because the things that they encounter in that episode are chilling. And then there's another episode, like a further season on, where they go back because it's back. And like it's literally like this, whatever is happening to this young woman in this TV show, whether it be a mental disorder or whatever, it is literally killing her. Like she's dying from it. Because she can't eat, she can't sleep, like she's so tormented by whatever it is that like her body's shutting down, and it is heartbreaking. But some of the things that happened in that episode literally, like, I don't know, they just set the hair on end. And I genuinely believe that might be a actual
When it
case.
toes the line of, like, believability and not, that's why I think when it's like...
Yeah. If we ever have a chance, one of these days, I'll introduce you to that episode. Because I do think because you like paranormal stuff like I do.
Yeah.
I think you would be into Paranormal State. It's really good. It's literally it started at a college as a bunch of college kids who just had paranormal experiences and wanted answers, and they formed a group, and then they became like a legit paranormal research society.
I love it.
And yeah, it's really really good. And that's how I discovered one of my favorite paranormal documentarians. So, because Chad Kalick is in it later on. But,
excellent.
Yeah. But yeah, that is the dark, wild story of Anna Eklund.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
Uh-huh. All right. Want to wrap us up?
Yep. And I think this is the perfect way to wrap it up because we're going to highlight the wonderful day that was yesterday. Friday the 13th.
Yay! I love Friday the 13th.
Hee hee.
I have the worst fucking heartburn right now.
Oh no.
I'm breathing through it.
Mm-hmm. So, another Friday the 13th of this year has come and passed, along with the dread and fear of it. So, here's what we need to know about the unlucky number 13, what it means, and when is the next
Friday the 13th.
Unlucky Friday. The number 13 has long been considered cursed and laden with misfortune or bad luck. The fear of the number 13 is also known as triskaidekaphobia, which, hey, I just did that big $5
That was
word
beautiful.
a nice long little.
It's not another little kilo.
It just didn't have a lot of L's.
It's L's. L's trip you up. Yep.
S's and L, like when it's there it is. Series of L's and S's. Mm-hmm. That's when the list comes out. And
I have trouble with THs. Mm-hmm. If I ever have. I don't have a list, but like sometimes THs will.
They're tricky.
Sound will trip me up.
So when the 13th lands on a Friday, the dread and fear compounds around lore and superstition. This year there are 3 Friday the 13th dates on the calendar. 2 of them occur in back-to-back months. So we had one last month in February.
Yep.
And we just had another one yesterday in March. The next one for this year is going to occur in November.
All right.
There's always at least one on the calendar. Next year is going to be August 13th. Funny enough, that's my anniversary.
You guys better do something spooky.
My anniversary is going to be on Friday the 13th next year. And there will never be more than 3, which happened this year in 2026.
You know, that's just feels very on par for where we are in the world right now.
Very valid. But hey, like you said at the beginning, maybe this will reset the timeline.
Maybe.
So we're going to get into some theories about the number 13 and Friday the 13th.
Okay.
So Friday the 13th.
I'm going to shuffle while you do this and put some good juju in the cards.
Perfect. Friday the 13th is widely considered one of the most unlucky days in Western superstition. Mm-hmm. The fear of this date comes from a combination of beliefs about the number 13 and the day Friday. In many cultures, the number 12 has traditionally been seen as a complete or perfect number, such as 12 months of the year, 12 zodiac signs, 12 gods of Olympus.
And a dozen of something.
Yep.
Which is a common, like, number of, like, things that you purchase.
Exactly. Like a baker's dozen is 13 buns or whatever.
Yeah.
So the number 13 is often associated or viewed as an irregular or unlucky. Because it's just one outside of a set complete.
That's wild.
It is weird. Friday has gained a negative reputation due to Christian tradition because it is believed to be the day that Jesus Christ was crucified.
Good Friday. Yep. That makes sense.
When these two ideas were combined, the date Friday the 13th became associated with bad luck and misfortune. So that's why Friday and why number 13. So kind of culminates to this like perfect storm. Several legends and historical events are often connected to the superstition. One of the most famous stories links Friday the 13th to the Knights of Templar. On October 13th in 1307, King Philip IV of France ordered the arrest of many members of the order. Many were imprisoned, tortured, or executed, and some people believe that this event contributed to the date's reputation for bad luck. However, historians also note that the superstition about Friday the 13th may likely have developed much later, and that the connection to the Knights of Templar may have just been added afterward.
Interesting.
Other traditions and myths reinforce the fear of number 13. In Norse mythology, a story tells of a banquet hall of the gods where 12 gods were invited, but a trickster god by the name of Loki arrived as an uninvited 13th guest.
That is such a Loki thing to do.
It is very Loki. He's staying true to his character.
Yep. He has a brand, and he sticks to it.
Absolutely. His presence led to the death of a beloved god, Balder, which helped strengthen the idea that 13 guests at a gathering would bring bad luck. Similar ideas appear in Christian tradition as where 13 people were present at the Last Supper before Jesus' crucifixion. Modern popularity of Friday the 13th as an unlucky day grew in the 19th and 20th centuries. Writers and newspapers began to mention the superstition more frequently, and the term triskaidekaphobia, the fear of the number 13, became widely known. The idea further popularized by books, films, and pop culture, especially the horror movie franchise Friday the 13th. It's a great one.
It's a great one.
Today, many people...
Jared Padalecki was in like a remake of one of those, wasn't he?
Really?
Yeah, he played the killer. Was it Friday the 13th? I think so.
That would be great. I did not see that one.
Was it? Or was it Halloween? No, it was Friday the 13th. Yeah. He was in the remake of it like 10 years ago.
Cool.
We'll have to watch it sometime.
For sure.
It's decent. It's not my favorite iteration of Friday the 13th, but it was, I mean, I watched it because it was Jared Padalecki.
Exactly.
And he's a decent actor.
Yes. So today, many people still treat the date with caution, avoiding travel, big decisions, or risky activities, though the belief is based on superstition rather than actual evidence. And I think most people nowadays just fully embrace it as like a fun
It's like
spooky
silly
date. It's silly.
Yep.
A lot of tattoo shops will do flash sales
I really
and
want to
things.
go to a Friday the 13th flash sale.
It'll be so fun.
Should go in November.
Let's do it.
No, Crimson Heart does it every Friday the 13th. They do a flash sale.
All right. Works for me. Well, that's far enough in advance I can take the day off and we just
Deal.
go do it.
I will take a day off to go get tattooed anytime.
Heck yeah. So we're going to look into some other fun events. These are actually not fun events.
They're
bad things that have happened on Friday the 13th.
events.
So they're saying on brand with the unluckiness.
On brand. Yep. Unlucky events.
So Buckingham Palace was bombed by German forces on September 13th, 1940. The Bola cyclone was the deadliest storm to hit the Bay of Bengal on November 13th of 1970. The Uruguayan Flight 571 crashed in the Andes Mountain, and the Aeroloft 217 crashed in Russia on October 13th, 1972.
I still think it's wild that 2 planes crashed that day.
Yeah.
That's a weird coincidence.
That's a weird
That one is
coincidence
probably
in
the
itself.
creepiest of the ones that you shared.
For sure. I might need to double check that fact just to make sure they actually did happen on the same date because I'm not 100%. I probably should have double checked that beforehand, but whatever. The rapper Tupac Shakur was killed on October 13th, 1996. The Costa Concordia cruise ship sank in the ocean on January 13th, 2012. And a reported lightning strike hit a 13-year-old British boy on Friday the 13th of August in 2020 at 13:13 p.m., which is crazy.
The fact that it was in 2020 does adds to the
that
chaos.
too. Like, of course, it was fucking 2020.
2020. It's a fucking shit show of a year.
Absolutely. And the final Friday the 13th, which not a bad one. This one's actually a positive one. Is my dear sweet husband's birthday. It's on Friday.
I love that he
July
was born on
13th.
Friday the 13th. That's so cool.
I know. I agree.
If I could have picked my birthday, I would have been born on Friday the 13th.
For sure. Kay and I we joke that because his birthday is on Friday the 13th, his luck is reversed, so he has to pick up the heads down pennies, otherwise it doesn't count.
I love that.
And then, like I said before, our wedding anniversary next year will be on
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th.
That's so cool. You'll have to do something like spooky together.
Yeah.
Like go ghost hunting or something.
Ooh, I think that'd be fun. Kate's not super into like supernatural stuff. He's
Gotcha.
definitely like, nah, ghosts don't exist. He's not.
He's more of a skeptic than we are.
He's definitely a skeptic.
That's fair.
But he appreciates our commitment to the bit.
I appreciate that he appreciates us.
He respects the passion. He loves that we do what we want to do. Just not his cup of tea.
Yeah.
He listens and he doesn't judge.
Hey, that's all we ask.
That's all I ask.
Beautiful. Well, like I was saying before my phone decided to cut us off, or before we realized my phone had cut us off, I love that you brought up Friday the 13th because I am as a spooky girly, I'm a big fan of Friday the 13th.
Yes.
Not just because it's cheap tattoo time.
Yeah.
Although I've yet to get a flash tattoo ever.
Really?
So we might have to make that happen.
I actually don't have any flash tattoos either.
All right, Friday, November 13th, it's happening.
All right.
But I was doing some reading last night on the interwebs, specifically Instagram. Mm-hmm. And there is a theory about Friday the 13th that is tied to like the concept of like the patriarchy and Christianity trying to snuff out strong females and non-Christian beliefs.
Oh.
Because in witchcraft, 13 is actually a lucky number and is used in a lot of positive rituals. Mm-hmm. But also the number 13 is tied to like divine femininity. Because most women or most people who have periods, because not just women have periods, will have 13 menstrual cycles in a year because of like the 28-day cycle.
Okay.
There are also 13 zodiac signs. And so there's all of this kind of divine female power tied to numerology and the number 13. And some people believe that making Friday the 13th kind of cursed is another way for the patriarchy to undermine women and feminine power. So that was kind of an interesting read last night that I was reading about. And there's like all these different symbologies of the number 13 in witchcraft and in Wiccan practices that are all positive as well.
Is there 13 zodiac signs?
There are 13 zodiac signs. We don't recognize one of them most of the time.
Oh.
But there are technically 13 signs of the zodiac.
That's interesting because you said that. I was like, wait a minute. I just said 12. So now I'm like, wait a minute. I'm adding to the patriarchy. No.
There are modern times only recognize the 12 because it's easier to divide them up by the 12 months of the year.
I suppose.
But there were originally 13.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. There's one between Aquarius and Pisces.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we need to do a creature feature on that.
Ooh.
On that forgotten
histories on the zodiacs. I like that. I love zodiac stuff. I don't fully buy into all of the astrology stuff because I think some of it's a little...
Yeah, some of it's a little subjective and like they're very vague, especially when you're like reading the ones in like the column. Like, oh, this is going to happen for this, or you are these descriptions. Like every person
is that to
would
some
fit
extent.
into that extent at some point in their life, and
but
you could be like, yeah, I totally am that.
I subscribe more to like the concept of like water sign, earth sign, fire sign, air sign, because I think those are much more like tied to your personality.
For sure, because like based on when you were born in the year, I think there's like different mentalities and like ways you're going to be raised based on like that time of year.
Yeah.
Whether it's conscious or not.
Yeah. But anyway, we've been at this for a while.
Yeah.
After 10 p.m., which when the hell did that happen?
Oops.
Should we roll some tarot?
Yes.
I have been shuffling this deck for...
Yeah, you've been shuffling for a hot minute, so please give me some good juju for
there's
this
a reason for that. I have not played with this deck a lot. This was a gift from Carson, actually, many moons ago. And I've kind of left it because I don't want to fuck it up. But I found it recently when I was cleaning out my board games, and I was like, I need to mess with this deck. But as a good tarot person, it is important when you are working with a new deck to imbue the deck with your energy. And you do so by playing with it physically. So I am doing this to put my energy into the deck so that I can more accurately use the deck and so that it can provide can use my energy as a source to actually be readable.
I love that.
So
I've read.
I also was thinking positive thoughts so that we can have good juju for you.
I love that. I've read somewhere that like it's also good practice to not buy tarot cards for yourself, and that they should be gifted to you. They should be like given to you.
Yep.
So that way the person giving and making sure the person that is giving it to you is giving it to you with good intentions.
Yes, you're yeah, for sure. It is a common practice. Like people who are truly into tarot, I dabble at best. People who are truly into tarot like will hardcore believe like you're not allowed to buy a deck for yourself. You must be given your deck. Otherwise, it doesn't have the same power as it would if you purchased your own. I have purchased decks more out of like they're cutesy than anything else.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not a true like I don't read the cards like some people do. I'm good at interpreting intuition and like reading people's energies more so than anything else. So I can bend the cards to my kind of interpretation a little more than actually truly doing tarot. But it's interesting.
Yes.
All right.
Absolutely. Alrighty.
Draw a card.
I'm like, not gonna lie, a little like.
They say the best way to draw a card is to press your hand over them, and if you feel warmth, to pull that card.
Boy.
You have the Seven of Pentacles, which,
Okay.
didn't you have Pentacles last time?
Yeah, 5.
And I have the Five of Swords, and I had the Ace of Swords last time.
Ah.
So we're still in Pentacles and Swords,
Okay.
which is intriguing.
The universe is like on
my
something.
phone is recording, so I'll have you look up what they mean.
Yeah.
Oh, I just turned it over and I was like, oh, boobs. The bottom card is the Star, which is a naked woman pouring water, and I was like, that's boobs. All right.
I feel like I've gotten 7 Pentacles before, so maybe
have to.
maybe the universe is like
Reset.
reset needs me to learn another lesson.
Apparently, depending on what it is.
All right. Google is loading. Alrighty. So, since I flipped it this way, would this be considered upright or
That would
reversed
be reverse.
for me?
Yep.
Okay. Reversed. 7 Pentacles, keywords, unfinished work, procrastination, low effort, lack of growth, setbacks, impatience, and lack of reward. You know what? To be valid with this is kind of on point because of setbacks.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
So
just
you're
like,
feeling a lack of motivation. I think this is a pretty accurate card for you
Yeah,
in your current
it-
status.
it's calling to
So
current
maybe this
events.
is the card is saying you need to be aware of where you are so that you can overcome your lack of motivation and pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Put on my big person panties on.
Put your big girl panties on. You'll be okay.
Yep.
All right. What is the Five of Swords?
5 of Swords. All right. Upright position. 5 of Swords is a card of tension, conflict, and disagreement. The 5 of Swords.
That's not good.
Yeah, I was like, what? That's like almost like the opposite.
I know.
What you got going on? I don't know.
Tension, conflict. You know, that's also accurate because look what
Yeah.
my week has been.
Yeah, you've had an interesting week.
I've had a lot of conflict this week.
Yep, so upright. When you draw 5 of Swords, you're being asked to take a moment to reassess your current conflicts and confrontation. This card encourages you to adopt a new perspective, recognizing that winning at all costs may not be worth the emotional toll it takes on you or others.
I feel called out.
Focus on resolving...
The cards are like, calm
Hey.
your tits, woman.
Calm down.
It's not that serious.
Focus on resolving disputes through open communication rather than aggression. In practical terms, consider reaching out to someone with whom you've had disagreements.
No.
Considering the issues or the disagreements you've had with said person this past week, no. I fully agree with no. But
No.
also,
But I will resolve to let it go and not let it affect me further.
there you go. Huzzah.
Huzzah!
Huzzah. Growth.
Growth. Well, we made it. This might be our longest episode yet.
Probably. We might need to consider, like, putting a cap on page lengths for
Probably needs
things.
to stop writing fucking book reports. But sometimes this research is just really good.
It's really, really good.
Okay,
Maybe
I will try to be better about the length in which I do my things.
Because, like, I love all the info. It was like,
But then we're sitting here for like 2.5 hours.
yeah, we're sitting here
And then I
forever.
have to fucking edit it.
Yeah, so you're really just messing yourself
I
up.
really am just screwing myself, which is whatever.
Say that.
That's a next week problem.
Yeah. Okay. We got weird with it.
We got weird. We got wild. Fuck men.
Yeah, just like...
Divorce?
Where do you get the audacity? Just where?
Coffee is grounds for divorce. And we'll see you next month.
Yeah, on a non-unlucky
And I will
month.
apparently talk about some really dark shit because I feel like that card's going to take me in a weird direction.
Yeah, okay.
But all right. Anyway, I've been Kelly.
I've been Carson.
Keep it weird, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.